They are
sound weird. That's just
like
how I
Maverick sitting in his whitey tighties in the recliner with his extra warm laptop on his lap.
He's from Chicago today.
Fanfare. I was in my whitey tighties.
You wear whitey tighties? Yeah, I can see Steve wearing whitey tighties.
Got to keep them testicles close.
86% of men who get drug out of their house after knocking their old lady around are just in whitey tighties. So that does track.
Oh, shit. I have a variety of underwears, but the one that seems to be the most comfortable and not right up my ass and all that shit are the almost too small for me whitey tighties. They're not white. They're colored. I've had them for a long time. I got like a red pair that's like ripped as fuck.
They're colored. They're colored as in they came in a color. They're not. They
I didn't color them with my fluids.
I had some whitey tighties. They're grossy loosies now.
So. I got everything, dude. Like I got like the boxer briefs. I got the loose boxers. I got like bigger fucking just briefs, and I'm like, all of them suck. The only ones that are relatively comfortable are the ones that really hold my balls up to my body.
Hey, Trav, what's your favorite kind of underwear? None.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't. The droopage isn't. I'm not a fan of droopage.
Are you talking about your testicles? Or?
All the time. Yep. Yeah.
All the time.
All the time. They're
if you hear me say something, it is in reference to my testicles.
Always in reference to testicles. I love you. And testicles.
I love you. I was talking to my testicles.
I love you too. No.
No.
Is that what I meant?
Yeah, suspension's getting a little wore out.
Yep.
It's like an old Jeep. Old Jeep CJ5, lopsided, leans to one side because one leaf spring's got a little bit less push than the other. That's my balls.
I think I'm gonna need to see these.
What, the balls?
Yeah.
I just think she was snapping my balls like in the last month. Every time I blow out a pair of underwear, ironically enough, because I wear boxer briefs, every time I blow out one, I snap a photo of my testicle coming out of the hole and I send it to Travis. So it happens a lot.
Whoa.
Which is crazy because I spend a lot of money on good quality underwear, but man, I blow them out.
Yeah, I really haven't shown my balls off to people in a long time, I guess.
You guys know we went live, right?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. We're on.
We went live with a full 5 mics today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Curtis said we sound sexy.
Oh,
hey,
probably because we're talking about balls.
I do want to say, and this is not a shot at Jeremy. This is a true compliment to Steven and Cody. I texted everybody last night and I said, "Hey guys, I got a bug a smidge early. If it's not too much trouble, could we all be on time and get things rolling? So then I will miss less." It was a selfish request because I am the one that is leaving early, and I got here. And Steven and Cody were already here, and they got the new board set up. And Travis got us waters, and it's a good day. So I appreciate you guys for doing that.
I was pissed, by the way, the whole time. I walked in here being an asshole right from the start. We got to get going. Each got to go. Fire it up. You're lucky that this board took us some time, or we'd have been podcasting already when you walked here.
I thought you guys were going to come here yesterday, do the board.
Did you, Cody?
No, I was going to.
He's like, "Oh, I got a life."
I was like, I went to get out of bed, and I looked over, and I saw Sarah, and I was like, "Fuck each and every one of those guys. I am not getting out of this bed."
Well, I asked Steve to call because I wanted to talk it through with him.
Yeah, I know.
And then like 5 hours later, he replies like, "I'm available."
Sounds about right.
I replied.
Yeah, he did.
Touche.
He doesn't do that to most people.
Right.
So are you going to run this episode like traditionally how we do a review?
Yeah. Are we ready to get rolling here?
Where's your little pad of paper and your pen like you always
You know what? We're 10 years in?
Jesus, are we 10 years in?
He's treating this show like he treats his marriage. He isn't trying anymore.
Dude, I think I got this.
Dude, Po2 is 7 years now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, and they're averaging 1.6 episodes per year, which is amazing. So,
well, then it's got to be.
We don't want to overdo it.
It's got to be 10 years then.
Yeah.
We're concerned we don't want to flood the market with He-Man stuff.
No. We want people to
2015 was our year.
Yeah, it was
really?
the year we started.
Oh, okay. So wow, we're about there. Yeah. So you are tuning into a movie review episode. It's been a while since we've done one of these.
It's been a while.
Let's be honest. There hasn't really been a lot that all 5 of us wanted to go see.
You know what though? I think Nice Pool hit the nail on the head when it's like, I think we've been on a steady incline since Endgame. So
if you think about the franchises that usually would pull us all out of our basements, there really hasn't been.
We all got excited for Spider-Man, right?
Yep. Did we do a review of that?
Probably not.
eventually, probably.
Oh, I think we did. I'm almost. I know we did.
6 weeks after it was streaming, yes, we probably did.
I think we
So
Okay.
I think that might have been the last one we did.
I can't really think of any other superhero movies where we were all like, "Fuck you!"
Yeah.
this movie was the equivalent of us deciding at Christmas, instead of like getting together with the family and reading "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," they let me roast everybody at the Christmas, and I literally just shit on everybody that made that Christmas possible. That's what this movie was.
Without a
It
doubt.
was fucking epic.
Yeah, without a doubt. So how we do this? By the way, if you're tuning in and you have not seen Deadpool, which is weird, right?
It's weird at this point. If you guys haven't seen it by the time we review it, you fucked up. Because we fucked up by never reviewing anything on time ever.
Well, it's best to wait a little bit and we'll give people time to see it.
Yeah. Not everybody can see it. We are doing this for the people, because we care about the people.
We care.
Did
We
anybody
care.
did anybody see it twice?
Just you, I think.
Okay. It
I
was
feel like I have, because immediately they started showing clips on like your
Reels, Facebook,
Reels and
TikTok,
everything?
Yeah.
TikTok.
so like I've seen the mask shot a million times now because of those things, and plenty other shots that are pretty
I watched a lot of reviews on it and Easter egg things. And
I've
all
watched
that.
a lot of reviews of people that were responsibly reviewing within a decent amount
like
of time.
the day after. It's like, oh shit, and it's all high quality and like shit's showing up on the screen. You're like, God damn.
Well, the reality of it, this is going to be full of spoilers. I imagine it's been spoiled. If
If you've been on the internet and avoided spoilers at this point,
I don't know.
Then you
fucking-
weren't on the internet.
Yeah, you weren't on the
Right.
internet.
I don't know how. Now I will say, and we're gonna get into it, but that is part of what I loved about this movie was I still had a lot of like surprises. Like
Yeah.
I was shocked at a lot of stuff.
There were
I was thinking about that on the way here too. I'm like, all these things that like the cameos and everything, and I'm like, those didn't get spoiled for me.
Yeah.
Like I was genuinely surprised. I had heard some things
Of
about
course.
a couple, but yeah,
Yeah,
overall.
that was one of the coolest parts for me. I just love that they made that happen. All right, so how we go through this is we're not going to break down this whole movie, like the timeline aspect of it or anything like that. We are going to just talk about the things we liked, disliked, loved, and hated about this movie. We're going to go around the table with the 5 of us. It's going to be great having Cody back on mic. So
And you saw it yesterday, Cody?
Yep.
So it's fresh in your mind.
it was a movie that I will need to see again. Like I know for a fact I laughed through jokes. I missed jokes because Ryan Reynolds never stopped talking.
Oh, except once.
Except once. Oh, when was that?
When Wolverine told him, "You got anything else to say, mouth?" Don't you remember?
Well, no, there's another time too, because when they're first walking before they meet Nice Pool, he tells him to shut up, and then he asks him a question, and he goes, "Like, yeah, you can talk. You nod your head."
All right, so we're gonna get right into likes here. I don't think we need to go over how much money this thing has made. It's past $1 billion.
Wonder why.
Strong.
I don't
female,
understand.
strong female lead.
Why did this movie do so good?
What do you think? What do you think it was?
I don't know. When you use like great characters that like everybody wants to see, and you get your core fans to go and drag their wives and their kids like I did, and I haven't done in fucking 5 years. You got the girls there Because the guys went, you dumbasses.
Didn't he tell me not to yell earlier?
He can't help himself. He gets
I
on
get
this
a little
topic.
bit ramped up, all right?
He gets on this topic. He can't help himself.
To be yelling nice things soon.
You guys want to go over some of the characters before we get rolling into likes and dislikes, just to make sure we're all on the same page about who people even were? Or...
Yeah,
I
let's
mean-
do that.
Let's
So-
talk about the dog.
So I want to. Oh, that dog.
Ugly ass dog.
So gross.
Was that CGI?
No, that was
No,
a real
I
dog.
think that is like voted like the ugliest dog in the world.
Yeah,
or
he said
something
they
like
were
that.
like putting, I don't know if it was peanut butter or something in his mouth.
Oh, so the dog
would
would
lick
lick
it
Yeah,
more
so
and
peanut
more.
butter
It was-
didn't work, so they had to use like salmon oil.
Oh, that's
in
yes,
it.
yeah.
Salmon oil.
Something like
Yeah,
messed up. Like
Fucking gross.
gross.
Was that the dog's real tongue?
Yes,
that. Yeah.
yes.
So gross.
Of all the things you thought, because it looks so cartoonishly weird,
Yeah.
you're like, that's got to be CGI. No, that's like the only thing that isn't.
All right, we're gonna hit the two heavy hitters right in the beginning. Is this the best Wolverine we've ever seen on screen?
Wow.
Yes.
For me, it's not even close. It is the best for me, personally.
I want to like
In
my
terms of what? In terms of acting? In terms of just that he's got the costume on? What makes you say that?
your favorite
Was,
version.
I
was
would
he
never-
better. Was this better than any other Wolverine?
Yeah, I would never delve into it
Because this guy's
anything
played
as
Wolverine a
deep
few
as what you're
times.
saying.
Same guy.
Right. As far as all the times you've seen him, what was the best time you've seen him be Wolverine? I feel like
Yeah,
that was
this-
a really
this would
easy
be the one.
question.
For one, giving him the freedom of it being our, you know,
Yeah.
which I know Logan was. I think Logan was our.
Logan
wasn't
was
it?
our.
But this just, when you get to hear Wolverine saying "fuck you" like repeatedly,
Yeah, being
and-
able to just hack and slash and blood all over and just, I mean, there's a lot of heart to him. He's probably like the only serious character in
But
this
why-
fucking movie. You know what I mean? Like,
But realistically, we talk about, oh, this is the best Wolverine we've seen, because it's the worst Wolverine in all of the universes. Because the Wolverine they gave us was the drunk, depressed Wolverine who let all of the X-Men down. They all got butchered by the humans, and then he went on a rampage and just murdered people.
Yeah.
I
In
want-
revenge.
I want to see that movie.
right? Yeah, what's
Right.
that movie?
And when she's inside of his head, and she's like, and then you killed all the bad people, and he said they weren't all bad, because he just literally went ape shit and started killing everybody and killed everybody that got in his way to try to kill the people he was trying to kill. We
All
got
right.
the worst Wolverine ever.
All right, you sold me.
That's
This
awesome.
is the best Wolverine.
But isn't it funny that there's irony in that?
Yeah.
That the worst Wolverine in the entire
Because the best
You know?
characters have problems, have baggage, have issues. They don't just walk in and start telling Luke Skywalker how to fucking use a lightsaber.
oh Jesus Christ.
I knew Star Wars would be brought into this somehow.
You're like the Zoolander of podcast. Like, you can only turn left. You've got one face. That's it.
Oliver Peterson.
You stick with what works, man.
So we are at this point, even with me randomly posting about him last week, we are still 20-1.
I don't know.
So you forgot about Amy Scott.
All right.
Paradox.
Oh, he was fucking shitty.
Did you like that? Did you like him as a character?
He was easy to hate.
It was definitely easy to hate.
How come? Oh, is he the guy that worked for the?
TVA.
The TVA.
Yep.
What's so
Like,
weird?
yeah,
is
kind of
I
like
real-
the main villain of
I
the
didn't
whole
realize
story.
that was his name.
when I said like Wolverine just is so serious for most of the time, it's like every other character was silly.
Silly.
And so, which wasn't bad. Like watching it, I absolutely had a great time. But like looking back, I can finally kind of go, oh, well, holy shit. Like everybody, it was almost just a joke through the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
He wouldn't
yeah.
have been so silly had he talked like a normal person. But they gave him that English accent, and he just sounded douchery.
I think he might be English. Actually,
I'm assuming he is English. I mean, all
make
of
him
the
talk Americanese.
all the best American actors were not born here. Let's be honest.
I actually liked. I felt like he had character, and I feel like some of those kind of parts in movies a lot of times are just kind of
Throwaway.
Yeah. And he had some lines that I actually really enjoyed. But like I was talking with Kane and he went and saw it with a girl and he's like, that was one of her favorite characters in the whole movie.
Really?
And I'm
Dumper.
like,
He was easily the
Fucking
most forgettable
Dumper.
character to me.
well, without a doubt, right?
Steven didn't even know his name.
Oh, Paradox, the guy that worked for the TVA, the guy that went and got Deadpool.
Gotcha.
And, yeah. Okay. Nice pool.
I mean, it was funny.
Oh my god.
He looked glorious. Did they de-age him for that, or is it just like heavy makeup?
No, that's just
He's still
him.
beautiful. I mean, don't get me wrong, but he's not that, glowing. But he was gorgeous.
He was.
It was
gorgeous.
funny.
It was really funny. Oh no, I'm not gonna fight because I have to protect this.
Yeah.
He thought that he regenerates.
Just assumed.
Well, I mean, it's a good assumption. All of them, but him.
All of them.
He just literally murders him to take his guns and his dog. So good.
Cassandra Nova.
Who's that?
I have never been so terrifyingly erect.
The bald
she,
chick.
She
Ah.
was fucking psychotic.
Save your
and
sister.
Played it
Mhm.
so good.
I didn't know a lot about her character. I'd heard of her before. I knew she was relatively recent in the comic world.
Yeah.
Had no idea she was even going to be the bad guy. I didn't know who the bad guy was going to be.
No.
Yeah.
So she came up. I'm like, oh, okay. A little underwhelming, but the shit she did and the effects they used with her fingers going inside of people and shit like that, that's kind of fucked up.
Which looked great.
It
Oh,
looked,
so
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Paul Rudd finally aged.
Yeah.
So fucking good.
Yeah. Yep.
So good.
The breaking of the fourth wall stuff in this.
Oh.
I usually actually
I
don't-
hate it.
I hate it too. I
I hate it.
really don't care for it. In this, there was just something about it that made me
It's
love
because come on, we were thinking all the shit he was saying, all the digs on Fox and all the, they're gonna, make
Disney.
it play this till he's 90 and
But there were like 30 of them. I thought there were too many, to be honest.
When he said "fuck you, Fox" and then headbutts the camera and smashes the glass.
My favorite one is when Nice School says the proposal. And she's,
Yeah.
Is that what you think I do?
Puts a 20th Century Fox sign half buried in
Oh,
the desert.
yeah,
It was so
yeah.
good.
There was a bunch of stuff in that scene too. Like there's a helicarrier in the background. I mean, there was a bunch of
Well,
cool-
they ride a Sentinel leg. You see it in that part. You see parts of the Sentinel, and then they ride the Sentinel leg out of there.
did your wives were they confused
Yeah.
through a lot of that shit?
Well-
Laura said the movie was awesome, she had a great time, but
Yeah.
there was so much shit she had no idea what was
Man-
going on.
Amanda absolutely loved it, but I was leaning in and going, hey, this, and I was doing mini explanations.
No,
But she never
suppose those were great.
It's the reason the movie's going well. It's that there's guys in it. We didn't just rely on women. That's why everybody's laughing. That's pretty much what I did. So,
Hey, honey, I hope you're sleeping well up there.
but
They're just assholes. I don't know what else to tell you.
I could.
So we're getting a shed. We're getting a mass mini barn. It'll be fun.
Hey, you want me to? I could go get a cigar. Would that make it better? I've got them in my truck. So
We'll see how it goes.
she
won't come
she was
down.
up working out at 6 a.m. Shut up. I lost my train of thought. Fuck it. Go ahead. Steve. Go ahead, Steve.
Thank God.
Tell us why Jennifer Garner's terrible because she fucking ruined it with Affleck.
The fact they brought in that group of actors and actually gave Gambit, they gave what's his name again?
Channing
Tatum.
Actually gave him the role where dude was trying to get that thing launched forever.
So I was excited for stuff like that. It
Mhm.
was cool seeing, Elektra and Blade and some of the villains from the X-Men movies and stuff. And Gambit, which was, if you know the backstory, it's like, oh shit, he finally, good for him. But like the more you look at it, I was like, man, his face looks fucking fat in that thing. And that,
Yeah,
I don't know about everyone's saying that his accent was terrible, but then I
I
hear
thought it was
people
great.
I hear people like who are actually from that area like, dude, that's pretty spot on. So
yeah.
I don't know. It was funny to me.
Yeah.
I think his accent was great. I do know what you mean because you're expecting Gambit to have that tall head
Lean.
he has.
Yeah,
It's very lean.
I've seen people alter it too, where it's just a little bit
Channing
closer.
Tatum is
in,
not
and it-
chubby.
No, he
It's
is not.
just-
no, it
it's
just
just
looks
his
like
head
he's got
shape.
he's got
It's
a
just his head shape.
really round head.
and,
His
you know,
eyes being black might have been cool too, because
Oh, yeah.
they just left him normal. But I mean, I'm super happy he got to do it, and he looked like the comic version of him. So.
But when they first talked, did anybody else go, "Oh my god, this accent's terrible"? They're making fun of it and they're doing it really bad on
No,
purpose.
no.
And then all of a sudden, I'm like, "Oh my god, that really does sound Cajun."
Yeah.
Like when I first heard it, it hit my ear, and I was like, "Oh my god, they're really gonna go the whole."
Well, because they
you
also
know?
kept making jokes about it, like, "What'd you
Right.
say?" Like,
that was perfect. I
Right.
love that.
Okay.
I love when they do that
mhm.
because it gives you anxiety. It gives me
Yeah, 'cause
anxiety.
you're going, I don't understand.
I don't know
they're
what he
saying."
just said, but then Deadpool's like,
I
called
don't
it
know
out,
what you just said.
and then you're like, oh, okay, it's okay. I don't know what he said.
I wish that I led a life where that was what caused me anxiety.
I thought it was hilarious when he's like, "Yeah, I think I was born here." 'Cause he like didn't have a movie.
Right.
Those little things like that.
Got a chance to save the world. Oh, some of the people didn't get it at all.
I loved that. Like, just to me, it was smart writing. The movie is full of just craziness and all this, but then they would have really smart dialogue like that made me just laugh.
I would think that Ryan Reynolds is a super cool, fun guy to hang out with if it wasn't for TJ Miller, who says he's horrible.
So I just watched an interview with TJ, which I'm sure we've all seen over because he's said it so many times. He probably told Pete in person, but like
Not that I'd ever know because I suck at the life and I didn't do the mic right.
the
Here's the
the
headphones wearing, Pete. Okay, nope.
the when I listen to how TJ Miller describes what upset him, the only thing I can think is what a bitch.
All I want to do the whole time was,
Yeah. Oh, he riffed on you? he made fun of you?
something that this dude is like known for. I don't know.
Did anybody watch so Blake Lively, of course, Ryan Reynolds' wife, is in a movie. It ends with us based on a book. Sounds like it's pretty heavy, domestic violence, whatever. The love interest in that movie is this gorgeous dude. I just watched a video yesterday Amanda showed me, and it's Ryan Reynolds interviewing him. And he's joking about, oh, it's my wife's love interest. And then he panics and brings his mother in, and his mother interviews and talks about why he's trying to replace Ryan. And then Hugh Jackman comes in and finishes the interview, and it's absolutely hilarious.
Yep.
And then it ends with all of them in matching sweaters. Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and Ryan Reynolds' mom all in matching sweaters, talking about how I tried to hate him, but I couldn't. He's just gorgeous. He's so good. And I'm like,
that's fucking awesome.
that's who Ryan Reynolds is all of the time. Like, I don't understand how you could. I don't, like I said, I've seen that with TJ, and I'm like, I think you're being a bitch. Like, I think this guy genuinely is a lot of fun and cares about this shit.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, at least that's what he's got us believing.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I think he was kicked out, and then now he just starts hating on.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, he did some shit. Whatever. I don't know.
When he got kicked out of Silicon Valley,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
that
this kind of
show
seems like
and-
things don't work out for the guy.
I think I'm going to be on TJ Miller's side. You know,
because that's your style. I get it.
What moment in the theater, and I don't know, like when you guys all went and saw it, how many people are in the theater, but what was the moment that you really got probably the most like excited? Like where you see the people like
the moment that it was meant to get everybody excited.
The Mask.
The mask, the music in the background, the stupid explosions. I was laughing at how ridiculous it was. It's great. It's epic, but it's also ridiculous. The way the explosion in the back happens with the music, and I'm like, this is just so stupid. I love it.
Did you see the sign on that store?
Yeah, I can't remember now. What,
Live Fields
Live
only
feet,
feet or
yeah.
just feet?
shoe store?
Yeah, and it's and the crazy part is too is they do that whole montage when they're fighting the Deadpool core, and I told my wife and kids, I was like, you need to go back and watch the Like a Prayer video of Madonna's, because that scene only becomes funnier. You know what I mean? Because when you actually catch all the references they used from that music video while playing that song, It only is that much cooler.
When all the Deadpool were dropping dead, Courtney leans over and goes, I thought that Deadpool could regenerate. I go, wait for it. I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
But and really, all those scenes was just for fun.
Oh,
I mean,
It was fan service.
of course
man.
they were going to come back. Of course, but I mean, it's fun. Yeah, it's exactly that, fan service. You got like a sort of silly but like perfect song, and like, you're laughing, but it's so over the top. And to me, it felt like the most comic booky movie I've ever seen.
Without a doubt.
You literally cold-blooded murder 25 people with the adamantium skeleton of a dead Logan while doing the NSYNC bye 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 dance.
And that's the intro to the movie.
Fucking A, man. I mean, that was so in the, Wolverining is hard and he's got like this sexual three, you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
that was so fucking good.
That scene right from the get-go, I knew. Like, I was very confident.
Yeah.
I did not have the Disney fear. Like, I really didn't. I didn't have the fear that Disney was gonna put, their boot down on
Basically,
this movie.
neuter it.
Yes, I never had that fear.
Because we know that Disney loves money.
Yes.
No, no, I disagree. They have not proven that they've loved money since Endgame, because they are picking stupid shit and making stupid shit happen.
I think they were
Make
trying
no-
to make money.
If they love.
They needed somebody else to come in and show them how it was
I
done.
think they're trying to make. I think they're trying to send their message. That's what they're trying to do.
No,
And
I think it's the complete opposite. I think that they were so hungry for money. That's why they tried those things. If you're not
Tried to
willing,
reach a broader
they
audience.
they wanted so much of our money that they literally took stupid risks in order to get that money and failed. That's how I
they're
see it.
that stupid to think that that's
But
gonna work.
they're still not, because they're still making billions of dollars every year.
I know what this movie was. This movie was, hey, we've been losing our ass for 5 years. Let's hit one in the freaking outfield over early in the stands so we can make 5 more years of shitty movies.
Good. I'm here for it. I saw it twice. They took my money twice.
I feel
So-
like they are, like I've said this in the past. I feel like they're just trying to get all the money. They want
This
all
movie did
the
really
money.
good, guys. Let's do Squirrel Girl next.
Well, that's gonna happen
Deadpool's already proven itself. Like they knew it was going to be here.
without
Right.
a doubt. Yep.
Just so is
Yeah.
Captain America. So is.
But I will go back to comic books. This whole thing is based on comics, and this is exactly what comics do. They'll have a short run of Squirrel Girl or whatever. It gets put out. It runs for 2 years.
Yeah, how much money does it make?
Probably not a lot, but they build a character. They create a character. They give you a background.
Yeah,
then they can
okay.
use that character for years.
But they're not trying. But the whole if they were just appealing to comic book fans, that might work. But they're not trying to do that. They're trying to appeal to non-comic book fans. And
I think they're trying to appeal to everyone.
Yeah.
right, and I
Right.
don't think that's going to work because
Well, no, but
it
we're
is
not
working.
But
But
it's not working.
It is working.
no, it isn't.
I mean, it is to a
Tell
point.
me that.
maybe,
Tell me
but-
that fucking
So, okay.
Marvel's worked. Tell me that
So,
worked.
so Shohei Ohtani, right? Baseball player, largest contract in the history of Major League Baseball. He has losses. He's a pitcher. He has wins and losses. Some days he pitches really well. Some days he doesn't. He still is making $77 million a season. Nobody is ever going to do everything perfect all the time. You hedge your bets and you gamble sometimes, but how many people, and this is a number that we won't know, how many people enjoyed the Marvels? How many people had never watched had never paid
Not in this
attention to
room
any
either.
Marvel, had ever paid attention to any Marvel movie? They thought, hey, this looks interesting. They saw it. There was a preview, there was a post-credit scene that they went back and they subscribed to Disney Plus, and now they've watched the entire cinematic universe, or they started reading comics.
I'm sure it's
Because
possible.
at the end of the day, Steven, I went to the Marvels and I hated it. They still got my fucking money.
Yeah, because you're stupid.
And that's totally
I
fine.
didn't get my money because I could tell by the
only
thing it was going to be
person-
stupid.
The only person that is stupider than me for spending the money is somebody who is so stupid that they think that Disney, even in their failures, isn't the most successful thing in the world. And that's you.
I know you worship Disney, all right? I know you think they're great and they're all intelligent, but I don't have to worship a brand. That's not my thing.
Except for your fucking You bought a motorcycle and all you wear is Victory Motorcycles. That's a Jesus Toy T-shirt you're wearing. The fuck are you talking
This was
about?
done by a good friend of mine, and I ain't supporting my buddy.
If you ask him, he's not your friend. He doesn't think very highly of you.
Curtis Ackerman says, "Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself here." My kid literally made a necklace with that whole phrase on that in like little beads. God damn it. I don't know that this means that Disney is going to keep going up. I think this was a high point.
Yep.
And I think if they're lucky, they'll be able to get some good shit in there. Fantastic
There is
Four might be
still-
pretty good.
They're still going to be making more
Oh,
money than we can.
I'm not
even
arguing that.
consider.
I'm just saying, like those glory days of from Iron Man up to Endgame,
Where every movie was awesome. Yeah.
even though they weren't. I
Yeah.
mean, come on, there was some garbage in there.
No, they were all great until the women came in. Thor: A Dark World, male lead, epic, absolutely epic.
I really do believe we're still going to get stinkers. They're going to keep. I think they're going
If
to
you
keep.
if you don't believe that we're going to get stinkers, you're the dumbest fucking person in the world.
Well, with that said, though, like
We're
the
gonna get
slate
mostly
that's
stinkers.
coming, is there anything that you're going? I don't need to see that.
I'm not super hyped about Thunderbolts.
I'm not
I don't really
So
give
I
a
am-
shit.
Is that
I'm-
Captain America?
I'm about that.
I don't.
Which one's
Is Thunderbolt's going to have my Red Skull Punisher?
No.
Hmm?
No. But Thunderbolts. Cody,
I'm
can
not
you-
that excited
you
about
bring up
Captain
the
America
Thunderbolts
new movie.
cast?
New. I don't.
You know what?
No,
I'm not super
because-
excited about, but I will still
Because
enjoy
we
it.
know that you're incredibly sexist. You're also a little bit closeted racist. That's
Oh,
why
boy.
you don't like it.
Oh,
You're
boy.
not
Why'd you
gonna
say those things.
You're not going to
Oh,
scream into the
boy.
microphone about
Pete
it.
doesn't mean that.
You're just going to be more low undertones, low key about. I'm not really that excited about it. You're just not going to expand. Where if it was a
Same.
female,
Fuck
Cap-
Red Hulks.
if it was a female Captain America, he would be telling us exactly why he doesn't like it. But it's not a female. He's just going to go.
I'll tell you
I'm not
exactly
that
why I don't
excited
like
about
it. Because I didn't really
because
enjoy
they took
I-
Han Solo and they made him not Han
because
Solo.
I didn't really enjoy Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
But you did until it got political.
Yep.
And when it got political,
Then I got
yes. And I will also say, when I watch a movie like that, I'm not. Don't get me wrong. Like Winter Soldier, there was political stuff in it, but it's a different kind of politics. This was the Falcon Winter Soldier was. They had a couple things they wanted to make sure they fucking just got you with, and that I understand. Like you're not. I don't want to watch a movie if that's what it's going to be about.
There's a lot of people that thrive on that. Scroll through your Facebook feed right now.
I know I'm about to unfollow a few. So
There's more than a few that I'm getting ready to
Block,
unfollow.
block,
Yeah.
block,
I mean,
block.
even The Boys has
oh yeah,
political stuff.
and messages.
But you know what?
And guess who doesn't watch The Boys?
I've started taking
this
shots at people instead of blocking them. I've started just commenting on my own wall and calling other people stupid, which seems to be going well. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And that's why this movie is so great.
Yes.
It was just fun.
It was just fun. They you know what they rammed down your throat? Fun.
Fun.
Just so it said, Marvel comics have always been political.
Always.
That's true.
Always been.
But everything is underlying a bigger cause. You know, the entire universe of X-Men is built on civil rights. It's treating people differently that are different than you. Which, you can say, yes, it's because they have wings, but in the real world, it was because of the color of their skin. They've always been that way.
Which apparently I'm a super huge racist. So
I know.
according to Pete,
Who said
still-
We could
that?
have dropped that.
I even said, I
could've
said
left that.
closet.
guess that's why I didn't like X-Men.
I said closeted and undertones. I didn't even call you out and say you were a huge racist.
So I might as well just go for the gusto.
That's totally up to you. I mean,
can't
you did
wait for
it.
you to start going for the gusto.
I mean, you
I
did it
know,
with
Pete's a
bestiality. Why
fucking
not racism?
Severe
So
homophobic. I'm just gonna say it. Since we're just throwing things out that are crazy on the podcast, just saying it. I'm just gonna say it.
say what?
You should hear the shit he tells me in person on the phone late at night.
You should hear the stuff I tell Jeremy. You'll know that I'm not homophobic.
Oh, yeah. He's bad.
I've got some underlying
bad.
same-sex tendencies. And
Say the
Jer-
stuff I hear from Pete late at night is close up of his hand on his wiener. I get the real close schlupping
Deadpool.
sound. Well, this is in the vein of Deadpool, right? He talked about wieners and boners and stuff, right? So back to the fucking.
So back to
review.
Deadpool. There's a lot of villains that we got to see in this that they brought back the original actors. There was a bunch that were not the original actors.
Well, but how many characters do you think they asked to be in it that didn't do it?
So that's what I really want to know.
I want to know
that.
what the B list was.
They
So-
asked Iron Man. They asked Robert Downey Jr. He
To
said,
be in it.
No, flat.
Really?
I feel like I read something that they asked like a couple. I don't know if like Halle Berry is one of them or something, but and I don't even know if they even shot some scenes or something. You hear a whole bunch of shit, but I side note, I thought it was weird they didn't have any of the X-Men really in it.
Yeah.
But I guess also the whole
Colossus.
story was about, well, yeah, but
Yeah,
I mean, like,
right, in
like
the actual-
former ones.
Yeah.
But I guess it kind of makes sense because, like, the story is how the X-Men are gone.
Yeah.
So had they brought somebody else in, it would have maybe fucked with that story.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it would have been kind of neat for him to be like, hey, Gene, you're hot.
Yeah.
You know, one last time type of thing. I
Right.
don't know.
Do you think that they left some of those X-Men out though? Because in the Void, it was like by not having those X-Men there, they had always done the right thing and always been the good guy. Because that's how I took it. Was
I mean,
we didn't
sure, that
see
could
Storm
be too.
because no version of Storm ever got sent to the Void
But-
because Storm was such a good character.
But what about,
Johnny though.
I was gonna say, what about Johnny? Like, yeah, he was the sarcastic.
Well,
dude,
but
like,
what I'm like I said, what I'm saying is I don't know much about that character.
Hmm.
I mean, but we could have had the Dark Phoenix, that type of Jean Grey, because obviously she went berserk.
right.
You know, at one point in one of the comics, Cyclops kills Xavier, so we could have had that. But I didn't know if that was what they were trying to say of these are the bad people and those were good people, so they never got sent to the Void.
Yeah.
I don't know. One interpretation.
There's a story, but like I feel like the story's really like over here, where it's more like, hey, look at all this shit we're gonna throw at all these fans.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and we're all like, thank you.
The fan
Like
service was amazing.
rewatchability. I'm just curious if like in 6 months I'm gonna be as excited about watching this shit because all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, they threw this character in. Like I did not expect that. Well,
It
next
was-
time I'm expecting it. Like I don't know. I'm
Seeing
just
it-
curious rewatching it. How
it was not nearly as exciting as the first time.
right.
Like it was still very entertaining, and there were still times where I laughed again after seeing something the second time. But there was a lot of like the reveals were where it's at. Let's be honest. The swerve with giving us what we thought was Captain America,
That brilliant.
and maybe one of you guys knew what they were going to do.
Nope.
I didn't.
I had no idea.
I thought they were giving us Cap. What I thought was they were making fun of the Avengers when he says language. They were giving us the Cap that talked filthy, and that's why he's in the Void.
But he started to
And-
get so like over. I'm like, wait a sec. And then it's like I had that moment of like, flame on, boom. You're like,
Yeah.
oh my fuck. And
Yeah.
of course, the kid and Laura are like, what? Like, no, I'm like, you don't get that. This is fucking great.
Right.
So great.
Well, and but that was one that I had to explain because my family didn't know that.
Yeah.
They didn't have that reference, and even with the Gambit stuff, that was hilarious to me. They thought it was cool that was Channing Tatum, that it was a cool character,
Mhm.
but they didn't have that. They didn't have that story of him trying to be that guy
Right.
and not being allowed to.
Mhm.
What'd you guys think of the multiverse Wolverines when he's trying to find Wolverine?
Yeah, it was
Well,
good.
that first one was
Lot of
great.
fun.
The short one, so
What did
good.
they call him? They called him. He had a name.
Comic
for him.
accurate Wolverine.
There
or
was, but then
something.
there's but yes, it's definitely comic accurate.
Tell me there wasn't a missed opportunity there though to have fucking Danny DeVito Wolverine. There have been talks for years like, oh, we should have Danny DeVito, and like, wouldn't that have been fucking perfect if he was the short one? I don't know.
Henry was awesome.
I
looked
love.
amazing.
Really? I
love
thought he
that.
looked stupid. Really? I did. Like,
He did look stupid because let's be honest, Wolverine looks stupid.
right.
He does.
I guess
They-
maybe I'm just used to Hugh Jackman's face, and so when you see somebody else's, because he didn't look all hot and sexy like Henry Cavill normally
Which is
looks.
what I loved.
Right.
he
He
looked
looked feral.
rough.
He looked like
rough.
Just something looked off. I mean, it was cool. Had they had more scenes of it, it'd probably been even greater. But
I loved when he.
I'm so glad they did it.
he did his little load up. When he popped his claws.
Oh,
too.
Yeah.
Cool.
yeah, his thing he did in that.
Mission Impossible, I think it was. Yeah.
well, one of the things I was telling Amanda on the ride home was there's little things that only you had to be a certain type of person that has read or indulged in that montage. If you notice, every single Wolverine kills him with his claws, except Old Man Logan. Old Man Logan shoots him with a shotgun. Well, if you've read Old Man Logan, you know the whole premise of that is I'll never pop my claws again.
And I didn't even notice that in the movie.
And I thought, how great is that? He shoots him with it through the chest because he won't pop his claws. Little teeny little things like that that the average person doesn't know. I happen to have read that one book. I'm not a big comic guy, but I love that. I love that series. And I was like, how cool is that? I mean, that's
Super
a
cool.
deep dive.
Super
man.
cool. The Age of Apocalypse one
is that the crazy with the burning
one hand. Yeah.
The burning alley and stuff. I recognized it from like just pop culture, but I didn't have anything.
The basis for that Wolverine, if I remember right, and it's been a long time now, Xavier's son Legion goes back in time to kill Magneto. So Xavier won't have to fight him forever. And, you know, if Magneto's gone, then Xavier's dream can. Well, of course, he goes back to kill Magneto, and Xavier jumps in front of the bullet.
Yep.
And then it creates this whole new, and without Xavier, when Apocalypse comes, he wins.
God damn it. Spoiler alert. I was going to read that.
Well, it's only about this fucking big. So
it's probably 96 or some shit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's probably 2000s, but
so
old. So that Wolverine, you know, he doesn't have he had the metal thing over one of his hands. I don't know if you noticed that or not. Like, he doesn't have a hand.
Doesn't like Cyclops do that to him?
Yeah, like Cyclops like fucking evaporated his hand.
Because he walked in and he was fucking diddling Jean Grey and he just fucking visor beamed his hand right off. And she still came.
Oh, hell no. That.
And then the hand still twitched because of electrical activity after death. So she still came, even though it was good.
Oh.
I've seen that scene.
So like that Wolverine, like someone who grew up reading X-Men, loved that story. Like Matthew Rodriguez is a great example. Like
Of
for a
what?
lot of people, he loved that X-Men.
Okay,
story.
I just because there's a few things he's not a great example of. So like that Wolverine doesn't mean a ton to me. I actually liked all the other Wolverines, but someone else, I mean, it's just this huge fan service where they did a great job. Just, I mean,
the one crucified on the X is
it's from a comic.
Him and his. Oh,
it's not from the Infinity Gauntlet.
No,
Did Thanos do that to him? Oh,
no. That, if I remember right, that was maybe the Reavers, and actually, like Jesse or someone's gonna probably fix me on this, but someone did that to him. I think it was the Reavers, but
did you guys the James Bond eye patch one? I didn't have any reference of that.
Yeah, I don't really. I never read the stories, but I had all the Marvel cards back in the day, so you learn the different versions of Wolverine.
Oh God, I love those cards.
So yeah, him in his white suit with the patch. I feel like he hung out with Grey Hulk too.
There was some scenes. They both kind of went through like this. I mean, he was in disguise.
Yeah.
As bad.
Really good. He threw a fucking patch over his eye. Holy shit, who's that guy? Clearly not Wolverine.
Yeah.
The brown and yellow suit.
And even referenced, he's like, and he said the guy's name or whatever. Classic brown and tan.
John Bryan. And then
that's my favorite.
The fact Hulk.
Yeah, the Hulk. And it was, it was MCU Hulk, which we knew it would be, but still, it's like, oh god damn it, where's that movie?
That was the scene right before he rips rips Wolverine in two pieces, right? That was what they were showing.
No, that they were referencing really, it's the first appearance of Wolverine. That's what they were referencing. You're thinking about Ultimate.
There's a comic book cover of like Wolverine with the claws, and they're shiny, and you see the Hulk's face in the background. Claws.
Oh, so good.
I thought that was the reason he didn't when he got there and he saw that one and he's like, oh, okay, and he left because he knew that Wolverine got torn into two pieces and was going to be useless. That's what I thought they were referencing there.
Yeah,
but
I think he left because he was terrified of the Hulk.
These guys are just giving us all the info here.
No, I'm sure.
He clawed Cyclops' eye out, and in the process, his hand got disintegrated. So, spoiler alert: he still has a claws under the metal cap. I wondered about that.
It does.
It makes sense.
Yeah. They would just pop out.
Yeah.
God, I saw
out of a nub.
Does it hurt?
Every time.
Just for them to do that, though, give us those quick little multiverse scenes where he's traveling around. I'm like,
I think that explained because the multiverse thing is really kind of confusing,
and it was boring. That was the boring. I was bored. I did have that was the dead part of the movie for me. It was all the explanation and the exposition of.
And they kind of reference that too, like knowing that people are kind of bored with the multiverse thing, which it's an easy way to get rid of characters and bring other ones in and all that stuff. But like, I think a lot of people are kind of like, come on, like get to the thing we want.
Yeah.
That is very, very apparent the second time through. Because the first time it didn't bug me because I was learning. The second time, it's boring as shit.
And
the highlight of that is him getting groped by the guy putting him in his suit. You know what I mean?
I did love that.
By the way, your tailor's a sexual predator. So
Didn't he like make fun of it being like overused to the multiverse? Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that. Yes.
that was the part that my family was lost because they didn't watch Loki and they
Yep.
didn't have any.
Oh, so the TVA meant nothing.
Yeah,
to them.
that's the only
Ugh.
reason. That's the only way you really have a good handle on the TVA is if you watch Loki.
Yeah.
So that's a tough. So they had to give you a certain amount of explanation because not understanding that not everybody watched that. But
That was the thing I had to explain in the Jeep ride on the way after the movie to everybody. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell is that place?
Yeah.
And the Void. They didn't. I mean, you understand the Void if you've seen Loki.
Yep.
Right.
They didn't. They're like, what was that place? What you know?
Yeah.
I could see that being very confusing.
But I will say that there was one line that I think helped the average person get a decent handle on the Void, and that was when Johnny says it's basically purgatory. I think the average person has enough reference to that to understand what that is to give that enough oomph without having too much explanation. That one line I think was able to file off the edges for a lot of people.
The fan service of this movie was a huge highlight. For
They
me.
gave us shitty Sabretooth, like
only
ridiculous,
to
you
have
know?
him
Die immediately.
And they even made the comment about his eyebrows and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like all the shit that is big criticisms
Yeah.
of this throughout the years. They're just hitting it head on. you
and
know?
they leaned into it.
yeah,
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
Frog was such a ridiculous character,
frog.
or whatever. That's what his name is, right? Toad. I'm sorry. He's that ridiculous, But you remember him from the X-Men movie, and you're like, of all of the bad people that Magneto could have as his second, he's got fucking Toad.
Yeah,
Was that even Ray
It
Park?
wasn't Ray Park.
I
I
didn't
thought it was. I thought it looked like.
I
him.
thought the
No,
dude who was Juggernaut was the same guy too. But
No, I'm pretty sure Ray Park is old. I mean, he hasn't done anything since the Ghostbusters theme. You're way confused. So
that's
Frog.
Ray Parker,
Frog.
Junior at that.
Blob.
he says Frog. That
Blob,
was Blob.
but not Blob. Not the guy that played Blob.
But that was I didn't catch
Yeah.
that.
I didn't
All-
realize who the guy is that actually played Bob till just Blob.
Oh, really? Didn't it?
yeah, he's
Yeah.
from freaking
All kinds
Wild
of shit.
Hogs.
Yeah.
You
all
just
kinds of shit.
you saw that big disgusting belly hanging at the bottom of his shirt. My wife goes, ugh. I didn't realize that was Blob though.
They had the Russian from Thomas Jane's Punisher.
Oh shit! Yeah, I didn't even catch
I
that.
didn't catch
one.
that.
Well,
I,
I
don't think I've even seen that.
I
movie.
really didn't catch it either. He had the same shirt on.
Okay.
He had a and I think it's Steve Dillon's, maybe Steve Dillon. I can't remember who wrote that one, but or drew it, but he had that red and white like striped shirt on. And a different actor too for that one. Bullseye.
I thought that the striped shirt guy,
Yeah.
I thought was supposed to be a Sandman nod.
Oh,
And I was waiting for him to turn into sand and he
Yeah.
didn't. So I
Yep.
figured I
But
was
yeah,
wrong.
they couldn't reference the Sony stuff, right? There wasn't any Sony reference, was there?
Well, yeah. but I
Except
mean,
him going.
yeah.
Fantastic Four was all Sony.
That was Fox.
I think that was Fox.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Spider-Man stuff is the only Sony stuff.
Oh.
And
okay.
obviously there was, like you said, there was some things, but they
And
didn't.
he's like, "What do you?" He's like, it doesn't
Yeah.
doesn't say anything.
And what's great about this is they say, hey, you guys, nobody can use cocaine. So we're going to talk about cocaine incessantly.
All these different
we're-
versions of it
yeah.
for like fucking a minute.
Yep.
You're like, Jesus Christ,
But the
Marvel, Jesus Christ.
the shitty Juggernaut
Yeah.
costume that everybody like they took they took everybody's complaints and made fun of all of them.
Mhm.
The Red Devil, is that Mephisto?
No,
That was
Azrael, I think.
yeah, Azrael
Azrael.
from the X-Men
First
First Class. Yeah.
Okay, I just think that character is super cool because he's very much like Evil Nightcrawler kind of style with the pointed tail. And
They got a little
Which-
connection.
which one was Bullseye? I don't remember.
You wouldn't even the only reason you knew it was Bullseye is because
he
was
had the mark on his head.
He had the bullseye on his head.
Like Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow, I missed most of those, Trav.
Well, understandable.
So
like that's
a
all.
lot happened at once, and
Oh, yeah.
right.
Yeah. And they did. There was a couple of like Callisto, which I think was what anyway. The second X-Men.
The girl with the pink whip that pulls X-23 down when she gets up there with Juggernaut's helmet, and then she throws her bag. Do we know who that was?
Who was?
It was a female with a pink, like a laser whip.
I don't.
And she wrapped X-23 and pulled her when she got up to the top with Juggernaut's helmet. And then she throws Juggernaut's helmet and she gets pulled to the ground. I didn't recognize the pink whip.
That wasn't Elektra, right?
No, because it was one of the bad people.
By the way, X-23 grew up.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Did you know she was going to be in it?
I did not know I knew it was one of the names that they were talking about, but she did a great job. Like every interview that she did, because she was promoting something else, every interview she did, she was like, I really wish I could have been in it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. She did a great job, like selling that she wasn't in that movie. No, I was actually, all those Blade shocked me. I was shocked by all those things.
Hey, where did you get that? Oh, that was the Punishers. Well, which one? And then he just goes, there's only ever been one Blade and there only ever will be.
Yeah,
and then he touches it off. I was like,
I just love how Deadpool looks at the camera when he says that. Like, all right, so we're going to roll through this. Let's get going. So we're going to do likes.
Real quick. Did you guys all watch the Blades? I've never seen the Blades.
I've only seen the first one.
Okay.
I'll tell you. So after the movie, we the next night sat down and watched Blade 1.
Yeah.
Well,
I loved it when it came out. I loved it.
And a lot of those movies they're not aging well, yeah.
and I'll tell you, there's still like the opening scene in this movie where it's a nightclub and it's in Blade and all these vampires and there's only like 2 humans in it and they don't realize, and then all of a sudden the sprinklers come on, it's blood, and they start eating the humans, and then all of a sudden Blade pops in. It still is one of the coolest scenes ever. But man, you kind of watch that movie and I'm like, ugh.
This is rough.
Ugh. The best actor and it's the bad guy, Steven Dorff, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, really the best actor in the whole thing. But anyway.
We should have had Dolph Lundgren Punisher in there.
Oh, that would have been good.
With his naked butt.
Which I have never seen that one.
Really?
Yeah.
I used to rent that all the time as a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Just for the naked butt?
Yeah. He played He-Man, dude.
He did. Jeremy's like,
he played He-Man.
I just saw He-Man's butt.
Speaking about getting your nerd sock out, Jesus, that was He-Man's butt. That was a fun explanation on the ride home. By the way, explaining the nerd sock to my 13-year-old son.
He's got one. He just calls it something.
I did. Like Blade 2 had the bad guy in that was a badass. Blade 3 was rough, and that's the one that Ryan Reynolds was in. And the comments because they didn't get along. They didn't get along on the set.
And they spoke to that in that, I've always liked you. I've never liked you. And it was like, oh shit.
Well, that was when Wesley, from the way they describe it, he believed he was Blade.
Right. And like refers to himself in the third person and
it's
like
fucking baked all the time.
Those damn method actors, yeah.
He wears sunglasses all the time.
Yeah, dude, stop it.
Seriously,
You're being a dick.
Who wears sunglasses in the fucking house?
Who is baked all the time?
Both of those types of people are shit.
That whole side of the table is a stereotype, Trav.
Oh. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I really loved because they made fun of all of that shit. Like they made fun of it. Blade had multiple lines that were his lines from his own movies. Like that thing about they're trying to, what was it? Ice skate. I can't remember. He made a comment and it was blood. There was all this.
Yeah, skate up on us.
Yeah, they're trying, and that's a line from the original movie.
Okay.
And yeah, they did some cool stuff. I'm not saying don't watch Blade. Someone commented the CGI is rough.
Yeah,
it's 20 years old. I mean, like, yeah, things have come a long way. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
What you got?
So round
Hey,
table.
Steve,
This
put
how we're
your-
gonna do
will you
it.
put your headphones on for a second?
This sounded weird.
I was getting a weird, like a static click, but I don't know if it's my headphones or
I got nothing right now.
no, it's gone now.
So we do this little round table. We're gonna go right around the table, and then we will snake back. So Pete, we're gonna start with you.
Okay.
What did you like about this movie, buddy?
I liked how not serious it took itself. I think that was huge. They, like Steve said earlier, they knew what they were doing. They knew what they wanted to do. They did it exactly how they wanted to do it. To hell with the layers of seriousness and all of this. They just said, let's go out and make a fun movie and be done with it. And they did that.
You know, with that said, it had some serious moments.
I teared up twice.
Wolverine was like serious the whole fucking
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And I think him being that while everything else was kind of silly actually kind of held it together even better.
Wolverine's the straight man.
Right.
You know, like
He still had his dry humor and like
Oh,
shit
yeah.
like that. But yeah.
I like how he said bub enough to make me happy, but not enough to be like, okay, you're overdoing it.
Yeah. Like, okay, we get it at this
Right.
thing. Like
you hit it right on the head, which was one of my favorite parts of that movie was the fact that they did not take themselves too seriously. Yeah.
They knew exactly what they wanted to do.
Let's have some fun.
Yep.
Steven,
This is a like or love?
like. We're gonna go likes, dislikes, love, hate.
I liked the over the top blood and gore.
Oh,
That mini when they fight each other in the minivan,
yeah.
just
The minivan
fucking
fight
so
was
good.
That was the best
amazing,
fight of the movie. I know.
and
And it was so pointless.
Yeah.
as I'm,
No
wa-
point. They're like,
yes,
we're gonna do this.
as I'm watching it, I'm like, this really isn't furthering the story or anything.
No,
it's just we're gonna do it because
it's literal fan service.
everybody's gonna love it.
Yes.
And it was beautifully
And
choreographed.
it's just so fun to have two characters that can both
Can't die.
survive everything,
Yes, cannot die.
and you can just do ridiculous
Ba-
stabbing and
baby
killing
knife.
Always the baby knife.
I described it to my mom, and I was like, "Ma, it's very bloody and graphic. But what would you expect when you have two characters that cannot die? Like, that's what it's gonna be."
Did anybody notice the initials at the bottom of the katanas?
No.
There's two letters on each one, and they're the first initials of the Golden Girls' names. Because the new katanas have like a gold plate to them. He calls them the Golden Girls. So if you look on the bottom, there's the initials. You know, Rose, Blanche, and that. You know, I don't know what they're, but
Sophia.
Yeah.
and
Dorothy and Sophia.
Dorothy. Yeah.
Yep. And they're on the bottom of the katanas.
That's
I was like,
brilliant.
"Oh," and I saw initials in the movie.
Mhm.
I mean, I saw that online. I didn't catch that in the movie.
Oh,
I saw
it's too
the-
much. to
Yeah,
do.
I saw the initials, but I didn't think anything of it. But I'm like, how fucking awesome is that?
It's too. There's so much stuff in a movie like that
Yeah.
that you picking up all. You need someone that's breaking down that movie. Had it not been as bloody and gory as it was, I would have been like, "Oh yeah, Disney put their foot down and
Yeah.
said, you know,
Yeah.
and
When he's holding Sabretooth's head and keeps calling, I have the head of your queen. And he keeps referring to Wolverine as a female. Like I just
oh yeah, Jeremy,
I would have to say the two big fight scenes were the ones that I really liked those. I love them, but since you're gonna make me say I love something else later, those were just phenomenal. Look, just fan service the whole time. Bloody, stupid, great music going the whole time, and you were like, I'm chewing my popcorn faster because I'm getting so excited, and you know, it was
he
awesome.
looks at him and goes, let's give them what they want.
Yeah, and you're like,
And you're
thank you.
Yeah, you know, and
I almost wish every Marvel movie was like this. Like, let's just fucking give them exactly
Right.
what they fucking want.
Yes, what I've been saying for 9
unless
years. But
unless what they want is female leads, then they don't get it. That's can't do it.
but with that said, they gave us what we wanted, but they still shocked and surprised us with this story.
They swerved the
Yes.
shit out of us in this
Yes.
movie.
they gave us pure versions of characters we love.
Yes.
No watered down, no bullshit. Exactly what we expected them to
They
be.
looked like they should look. They wore the costumes they should wear. They acted like they were gonna
Sometimes to
act.
on the edge of cheese, but they just went right into it.
Don't
Yeah.
care.
Oh, yeah.
Like Travis said earlier, you leaned into it.
Mhm.
You know, that your costume comment, I didn't catch this until I saw it the second time. So they give us the costume and it's blue and yellow and it's Jim Lee-esque, right? Then that's Jim Lee's the blue and yellow guy.
Oh
Or
no,
no?
they had it.
It's
That
like
was his
way
first
before.
appearance was in blue and
Okay.
yellow.
Either way, they give us the blue and yellow, but it's not really exactly like we expect it to be, right? So then he fights Ryan Reynolds and gets the sleeves ripped off, and
Yeah.
he's sitting at the bonfire, and my wife leans in and goes, his sleeves are missing. And I was like, motherfuckers, I
Mhm.
didn't notice it the first time around. They gave you a little bit and then they made it better. And then he walks out sleeveless and pulls his hood up. And I was like, those motherfuckers,
Yeah.
well done.
Yep.
And like I said, it took me the second time to see that, to notice that his sleeves had been removed.
It was jarring to me discussing the mask. For some reason, the idea that Deadpool's mask has white eyes that move,
Thank you.
that move, and for some reason that doesn't bother me at all.
Yep.
Doesn't even, I don't even consider it.
Yep.
When Wolverines did it, it was a little like, whoa.
I think I expected that to happen, but when it was shown, it was kind of like that's a little cartoony.
But I kind of like it.
It was weird. It was
I love
unsettling.
that they're just kind of embracing it because think of like Spider-Man, how in the MCU that
How they all move.
Yeah,
But they rationalized that.
that's what I'm saying. Like they were like, this is why this happens, and blah,
Thanks,
blah,
Mr.
blah.
Stark.
And in this, they're just like, fuck it.
Right.
Like that's just how it is.
Yeah.
And
You
I was
don't
trying to
question
think, I know cartoon, comic, I'm not deep enough into that. I'm like, were his eyes white in his hood? Like, I didn't know.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that classic anything, Batman, Ninja Turtles, anybody wearing a mask, they always just do the white eyes just so they fucking look cool, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
And now and I always wondered how that translated because every Batman movie you see is fucking eyes.
Right.
You're like, well, obviously that's just a comic book thing or whatever, but yeah, they just fucking embrace it in Deadpool and
Yeah.
it works.
Him putting on the mask, did that mean a lot to you guys?
That
I thought it was awesome.
that's well, spoiler alert, that's my love.
That was, but spoiler alert, the white eyes on the mask was my only hate because it felt weird to me.
Mm.
But what they did is they made us a delicious dessert. And as they add all the frosting and the filigree and they add layers to the cake, you get to the end and him walking out. And as soon as he reaches back, you're like, this motherfucker is going to put the cherry on the top of
Nipples
this guy.
hard.
You know what I mean? And like I said, I don't have the connection that a lot of people have to Wolverine. But in that moment, that was the moment in the theater where there wasn't a ton of us, but it was like, okay, yeah, like everybody got a little bit rowdy for a second. And that was cool.
Super cool. Cody, what'd you like, buddy?
Just that they didn't like hold back against like Disney and MCU. Like when he's like, "Yep, you joined at a low point." I thought that was great.
Yep.
I expected them, the preview alone, we knew he was going to make cracks.
He was going to poke some fun.
I did not expect them to go
Ruthless.
as
Yeah.
hard.
So it sounds like that they were expecting Disney to like push back after they like, read everything, but they were just like good with everything.
Yeah, they probably just went, I mean, is he wrong?
Yeah.
I saw an interview with Reynolds, and he said we would write stuff and be like, "That's not gonna go. That's
Yeah.
not gonna fly," and then they would okay it, and he'd be like, "Whoa, it flew."
Yeah.
Well, how far can we push?
Yeah.
Because once they got those first few okays, they were like, well, maybe we are going to try this and see if it
Mhm.
goes.
Yeah, they're just like it was just aware. I would say, like I don't know, just like that. And then the Blade entrance
Oh,
was badass.
Just
I thought
walking
that was
in.
really
Oh.
cool.
Dude looked good, too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he
the
looked good.
little and they didn't try. He's got to be in his 50s or
Oh,
older,
yeah.
60s,
Yeah.
yeah.
But and it's either he's got gray in his goatee. Like Jennifer Garner looked beautiful.
She looked great.
Yeah.
But you look and you're like, she's older, but you're also like, she's been trapped in the void. Like it didn't have to be pretty young Elektra from the.
Right.
It was like this is a
No,
beautiful
she has
woman,
aged.
right?
They've
This-
all aged.
and they
I
were
wish
okay
it
with
was
it.
pretty,
you know?
Electra, but-
What did he call her? He started to go and he goes, and obviously you're the God, I swore he said poor man's Wonder Woman. I could have swore that's what he said. And she's like, I'm Electra. And he's like, oh, of course.
Hey, it's like Batman, only he can turn his head. I was like, that's so good.
I liked the jokes that they made, that you had to be kind of deep even into just so example. They're like, we're sorry Daredevil didn't make it or whatever.
Yeah,
And
okay.
Because
They were married when
they
they
were
made
married.
the movie, and now
Mhm.
they're divorced. So
he's like,
good.
no problem.
Yep.
Oh,
like,
it's so good.
I loved that stuff.
Right.
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah,
Because it was just, well, for starters, like I said, everything was so
rapid
quick.
fire.
And there was little, like, I don't know
Besides,
how many.
I think they're gonna get back together.
Well, they probably will. It's kind of his MO.
I don't know. You ever seen the swing on J-Lo's back porch? That'd be hard to fucking walk away from, man.
I mean, she was kind of a cunt, but yeah, sure.
Again,
I don't know,
The
look-
scene with Happy.
oh yeah.
Oh, so
You know,
funny.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
you an Avenger?
And he's like, I feel like we've given away all the good stuff.
It's
Like,
like-
is he coming?
Right.
or-
Aren't you the chauffeur? Well, yes, I did start out as Tony's driver, and then I worked my way up too. And then he goes chauffeur, and he goes director of security. And I get just shitting all over Happy. The fact that every time he takes his mask off through the whole movie, he still has staples stuck in his head
The
with
one thing
fake
that Laura
hair
said
on
though,
it.
at the very end, he didn't. And she's like, it just really bothered me. He didn't have the staples
Oh,
in
that
his
the
head at
staples
the
were
end.
gone.
And she's like, the whole movie he did. To me, I'm like, isn't he constantly like healing though? Wouldn't
Yeah,
those
forced the
popped out
staples
like
out.
ages
Yeah.
ago?
And that's probably what happened.
That's
The-
what I said. I said, well, he eventually healed and they popped out. She's
Yeah.
like, that's dumb.
The varying degrees of fandom, obviously, in this room. I again, not being a big guy into the comics, when there's stuff in a movie that is entertaining for the average person,
Mhm.
and there's stuff for me who knows a little bit more than the average person, and then there's stuff for guys like the Travises and the Jessies of the world who really know some of the lore to pull out of there. That's just great writing.
So
Because
I-
you can swing too hard the other way and try to do too many deep cuts, and it makes it not enjoyable
Right.
for a regular Joe.
Yeah.
They didn't do that here. Sorry.
Claire went again.
Oh, wow.
She went with us, and then she went with her friends. She was
Mhm.
like, I want to see Deadpool again. So she got a bunch of friends together, and they went to the drive-in and saw it again. I think that's funny.
Yeah.
Because
I think it's funny that you thought they went to the drive-in to watch Deadpool.
I mean, if you're going to go to the drive-ins, you watch a movie you've
already
seen.
And that's fucking rule number one. I'll never forget, man. We get halfway through a movie. Next thing you know, we're doing our thing. Everything gets done. Sit up, and apparently the van was moving. So we sit up, and all of a sudden, pow! Fucking brights from the people behind us. Gotcha. Quick lay back down. Ah, shit.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Was there dudes in this group of friends that went and saw it, or?
No.
Oh.
Oh.
I actually
But
don't.
see, and despite your earlier comment about me, that doesn't bother me one bit. So you can say whatever you want about me.
I don't know.
Did she have fun? Because I can see, at least me personally, I can see knowing that and then learning some of that stuff from my dad, who's a nerd, being able to at the drive-in see something and then lean in and go, hey, by the way, Channing Tampa, and be able to explain that. I could see that being super cool, having some inside knowledge, going to see it with friends.
My kids know too much of that stuff.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just from being around. But
Yeah.
the thing I was going to say is, my kids haven't went
And watched one.
to any of the Marvel movies
Yeah.
until this one.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, they don't want to
Since-
sleep on the couch because they find out that you found out they're watching a female-led movie.
They pull in the driveway, all their shit's in the driveway. I hope you liked Marvels.
Hey,
Marvel
man.
your ass down the road.
Hey, little miss, why don't you marvel at your pile of shit in the driveway?
they haven't watched Loki. They haven't watched She-Hulk. They haven't watched any of that
I didn't even
stuff. They
finish
don't.
fucking She-Hulk.
They don't. You know, they don't care.
Right.
And You put out something good, and
That's
boom,
what happens.
look what you do.
Yeah. Hey, Marvel Jesus.
Marvel H Christ.
All right, so dislikes. I think this will be interesting. My dislike was that I really would have loved a love scene.
You mean Ryan getting pegged by the incredibly beautiful Beccarina Moreno or whatever?
I felt like that was the one little
Or the
thing.
3 dudes that he had showing up that he thought were showing up to bang him.
I was having a great bottom, but I want
The whole
serious
movie.
eye contact.
The whole movie was a love scene.
But with you. I can't see your eyes, but I can
It
feel
was
I can
a
feel
love
your
scene.
passion.
What was he doing? He was trying to save his friends. He kept
Yes.
pulling out the picture of all his friends.
He was
How
trying
did
to
he,
have sex
what
with her
world?
again.
Okay, what world was he in?
I think
When we
trying to,
start the
I think
movie-
trying to figure that shit
No.
out is like
Okay,
So-
can I just skip ahead? That's my dislike because I don't know where everything's. I'm
Here's
confused.
here's how I interpreted it, and maybe I'm totally crazy and nuts. Okay. They show you in the 616, which is the standard Marvel universe.
Mhm.
Okay. This whole thing revolves around 10,005. Okay.
Right.
I feel like he wasn't able to save in the 616. I think the time loop, I think he ended up in the 10,005, and that's where he was able to make things right. Or he made things right in the 616 and then fled to the 10,005 to avoid the TVA. But I don't know. Those are just two weird theories in my head. But I thought that was strange because it gives you, or he went to the 10,005. Maybe he was jumping universes to try to become an Avenger because he got shot down in the 616. I don't know. I found it a little confusing, and that's how I kind of rationalized it in my head.
Yep, that's definitely my dislike. Is just not knowing where everything's taking place. It was rushed to me anyway. But I also get why they didn't focus on it.
Right.
They needed it. They needed all the fucking
Can-
sprinkles and the fucking whipped cream and shit. Like,
Can you
Fuck the
guys
cake.
shed some light on that explanation or no? Okay.
I don't even.
You have
like,
you have one job here, Travis.
I
and
didn't
that's
even. I
under-
didn't even.
I
that's
understood
explaining the comics.
I
to us,
understood where
and
Wolverine was because it was just a random Wolverine. from a
he went
certain-
and found him.
right. And we know what happened to the Fox, and I guess you can't call the Fox Universe 616 because that would have been something else as well.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yeah.
See, I'm just kind of confused about it all. So
Yeah, I'm sure someone online has created a nice little thing that gives you some. I just when I watched that, I just kind of dismissed. Like I'm like, it's just going to be what it is.
I watched a couple of the YouTube videos, and none of them really
Same.
make it clear.
same. I'm like, maybe somebody else
Jesse!
smarter than me knows.
Hey, Jesse.
One guy says, and I don't know if he's right or not, he said that there's a big mess up in the movie because technically where they're at in the end is the same world that Logan from the movie Logan. And the time frame is actually before Logan died. So Logan was actually there'd be two Logans there. The Logan, and I don't know if that's true. But
Well, they pushed Logan to 2029, I think, is when that's set. So that could very well be.
Yeah, like the timeline stuff. I just kind of like I'm just going to have to not worry about this.
Yeah.
It did not in any way, shape, or form ruin the experience for me,
No,
but it was
no.
the only real dangler that I had.
And I hate to say it, but you might not really get a sufficient answer.
No, I don't think that there is
But I
an
will.
answer.
But I'm not going to lose any sleep over it either. You know.
Cody, what'd you dislike?
There wasn't a ton. There's a lot of jokes that went over my head that they're just going so fast, and I'm like, I don't really know what he was talking about there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not a bad thing.
Yep.
There was. I'm trying to think. I thought at one point he was gonna be like, man, does he look like Captain America to anyone else, or
right.
like I don't know if that was referenced at all, was it?
with Johnny Storm,
Yeah.
That's what they wanted us to believe, that it was Captain America.
Right. I don't think
And
they
then-
ever said anything though. I
Yeah, I'm
think
saying,
we
like,
all said
well,
it in our heads.
Ryan Reynolds calls him Cap.
Yeah.
Oh, he does.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he, he's gonna say it. He's gonna,
I don't
you
know.
know.
Avengers.
Avengers,
Oh, yeah, he was
and then he
Avengers.
says flame on, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Bah!"
Yeah.
I just love how I love how Johnny says, "Okay, everybody, stay close." So and just hugs him from behind. I'm like, that's awesome.
He's kind of like pushing him off.
Right.
I mean, they went so far to fuck with us. I mean, giving them the red wrist wraps.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, like I said, that was a hardcore.
I was like excited. I'm like, oh, Cap, it's Cap. And then yeah, when he does the flame out, I'm like, that's even fucking better.
It was better.
Yeah.
Like it was better. What'd you think about the final scene, the final cut scene where at the end,
post credit.
Yeah.
That was so fucking good.
Yeah.
where Johnny literally says all of
Yep.
those things.
That was so fucking good. And he said it in a perfect Johnny cocky asshole accent and just
so good.
I like the scene before, or like right before that, when it's like showing all the old clips.
Oh
yeah,
Oh,
like
that's
off
so
the set
good.
of like
Yeah.
Elektra and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
That
you're
was cool.
It's always the suit's fault, never the actors.
It was essentially
hitting
a
my
big
love.
love letter to really the Fox universe in a
Yeah.
way, which is
I
kind
felt
of awesome for Disney to like do.
fuck yeah.
yeah,
You know what I
was-
mean?
It was basically like we're saying goodbye to that universe.
Yeah.
So
That was
that
cool.
that's what I love. There's so much in this movie I loved, but the fact that they did that at the end and pretty much said goodbye
Right,
was-
David loves.
was fucking awesome. Like it was just awesome because we have been watching those movies for a long
For better or worse.
Yeah. for a long fucking time. You know,
Yeah.
so to me that was a huge I really enjoyed that. Steve, what'd you dislike?
I just thought that they could have. I wish that they could have summed up the TVA stuff, that whole section of that movie. Even on the first watch, I was getting like a little bored and thinking this is dragging. And
The highlight of that was Ryan Reynolds looking at the camera and going, "Hey, come on, you know we're notoriously long-winded."
Yeah.
Or no, we're notoriously
run
wrong
times.
run times.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got like they had to do it, but at the same time they're like,
They poked fun at it.
yeah.
Peter.
My dislike is the same. My dislike of this movie is the same dislike I have of this podcast. Too many people talk at the same time and you miss funny shit. So like I say, like every third joke I say, somebody's saying something stupid here and nobody hears how funny I am. That happened a lot with Ryan Reynolds. He was a lot of under his breath, kind of like while somebody else was starting or ending. And I feel like I missed some pretty epic jokes, but they did that on purpose because of the whole Merc with a mouth and you know, him incessantly talking. It was all done intentionally, but it was like, damn.
Which and
Here's-
sometimes as much as I love him, that whole sometimes you can kind of like Wolverine saying to him like, do you ever shut up? And it's like sometimes you're like, yeah, like he
Yeah.
kind of does, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that about his character, but like
Right.
I don't know, it's just funny. They basically said all the things we've ever thought.
Yeah.
you may not be able to fix the movie, Pete, but you can fix this podcast by keeping your mouth shut.
You're Wolverine piece.
So,
Oh shit!
and you know what? You're
Curtis.
You're absolutely right.
Pete interrupts Steven's story. Yep, there you go.
So, but the only problem with that is that we just talked about how all those one-liners were the highlight of the movie. So if you take all of those out, you have a Steven-driven podcast, which
Are arguably some of the best
is
shows.
within 3 episodes, Curtis Ackerman will have taken over and be running this shit. You guys realize I'm the only thing keeping Ackerman at bay, right? All of you fucking cucks, would you be like, yeah, go ahead, Curtis, you can have it. I'm the only one standing in the way.
We'd be
Of this
flying him
being-
in every week to sit right there.
Yeah, it's the only thing that's stopping this from me. My wife is going to Ackerman me is me. So you're welcome. Next thing you know, all your producers will be covered head to toe in fucking sparkly purple. Doing art, doing fucking sculpting for Savage Crucible. The whole thing would just fucking fall apart. Purple gang gang.
Peter, what'd you love?
Realistically, it's the Schwarves, and I know we've already talked about it and mentioned it, but what they gave us and then what they actually gave us, there was so much to unpack in this movie. That's what was absolutely great about it. Yes, 2 hours and 12 minutes long. It was a relatively long movie in the grand scheme of things, which 212 is becoming a little bit more the norm than it is a long movie anymore. But they didn't, again, and I agree with Steven that the TVA stuff, a little bit of rough, but other than that fucking arc, this movie was fucking packed from beginning to end with shit to see and hear. And I just thought that was fucking spectacular. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall of the writing room of this movie.
Yeah.
Because what we saw, I guarantee you there was stuff Disney
annoying
said
fly.
no to. That's exactly my point.
God damn it.
Steven just made a funny joke. Steven just made a funny joke. The listeners didn't get to hear it because I was talking. That would have been a great laugh. One of very few Steven was going to get this episode, and the listeners missed it. That's the problem. You know what I mean? When I made a comment about being a fly on the wall, he said, "On a very annoying fly." That's funny. Like, that's pretty decent quality comedy, and it got overshadowed by my insight, and that's unfortunate.
Dusty says Pete's the anchor being in the Wig Tickum universe.
You're goddamn right. You're goddamn right, Dusty.
Wig Tickum Jesus.
I want to know what Disney cut, because I guarantee you Disney said no to shit. With what we were allowed to see, I want to know what Disney said no to. Because there's no way that they got everything they pitched. No way. I want to know what Disney was like, no, that's a little bit too much.
Right. It'd be crazy if there wasn't anything.
We find out that Ryan Reynolds is like, so I'm just gonna fuck Johnny Storm in the ass and you can suck his dick. Whoa.
I'd watch that a third time.
Only if they're doing a reach around.
Steve, what'd you love?
I just love being able to go to a superhero movie, sit there, have fun, enjoy it, see characters I like, do things that they're supposed to do, and be able to enjoy it again. It's been a long time. Since Marvel has given me anything like that.
What is the last time?
Probably
something
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yeah.
I don't know. I'm still mad that they just call her MJ. So,
Jeremy.
Fan service, all the fan service, all those meta things, but specifically that moment when he finally pulls the hood on, his mask. Even though I will say it was a little jarring, a little different. I'm not sure if I even really loved the way it looked.
Yeah,
but I'm super fucking happy they did it.
Yeah,
and he continued to wear it for a long time. And
I was surprised at that. I thought the mask was going to go away really quick.
Yeah.
I think once they gave it to us, they felt like they couldn't take it back.
Well,
the fucking comment Deadpool makes to him is fucking 2 steps above fantastic.
But what's funny is
what's up with the blowjob handles there, buddy?
Right. What's funny though is so that is this really huge moment, but they don't save it for the very end. Like at the very end, what does he fucking marvel all over Wolverine for? His fucking abs.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's helping, and he's hot, and I could hear, Laura and the kid both what the fuck is that?
Such a great scene.
Settle down.
Such a great scene.
Yeah. But then I watched X-Men, the first X-Men again, I don't know, about a week ago.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it.
God, how stoned were you?
And
you were like, I'm going to put this on.
I still love that movie. It's fun.
No, it's good shit.
And just how hairy his chest is, and how kind of
lumpy.
Yeah, he's not muscular. He's just,
because he only had 6 weeks to get ready.
Right. He's just a guy. Looks way better than I ever have.
Of course, yeah.
It's just amazing. That's what we got. And all of us back then were like, fuck yes, you are Wolverine. And now we get this super Hugh Jackman.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, God damn.
Did you hear all the people that are saying that Marvel movies are making unrealistic body expectations?
It's not unrealistic. You can look like that.
Yeah, you can look like that if you.
It just takes fucking.
It's not
discipline.
Well, not the metal claws in his fucking arms. I mean,
you know how they do that.
People are saying that he's on roids.
Probably is.
Fuck, he's supposed to be.
Yeah, why not?
I'll pay for his next round.
Right.
Anytime someone gets weird about that, I'm
60.
like, what the fuck? What? How else would you think he'd look like that?
And maybe not steroids, but I guarantee you there's fucking HGH going on.
He is shredded.
But they target that scene. That scene's that day. They start dehydrating themselves 3 days before.
Yeah, yep.
I mean, they do a bunch of unhealthy shit to get that look for that day in that
scene.
And then as soon as it's over, he doesn't have to look like that anymore. You know,
Right,
I
right,
mean, he's
true.
still in shape, but he's not
Right.
that, you know. And
Curtis says, my understanding is the only thing Disney said no to was some bloody Wolverine war clips. Disney tried to get some She-Hulk and Captain Marvel in there, but Ryan Reynolds got it removed. That's fine
he
with
is
me.
Marvel Jesus.
He is Marvel Jesus.
So some of the best insults when Deadpool calls Wolverine the Thunder Cunt from Down Under Cunt, I was like, that is fucking epic.
Cody, what'd you love?
I thought we already did this.
And he did what you like.
That's dumb, Cody. It's how we do it. It's dumb.
That's how he does it.
I would rather do it some other way. You guys look at me and go, "Because
I love it. I love it.
Oh, you would
or
rather
do I
do it some
like
other
it?
way.
I don't know.
Wait,
See,
guy-
Well, yeah, like
Please
someone
look at
else
him.
do it. Like someone else do it.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh,
Steve,
we
we
literally
literally
did it on the
Go ahead
spot.
and do it. This is how you chose to do it. We didn't make you do it this way.
This has been your thing from the start.
I know. So
Your
I'm
only
doing what
thing.
I've done from the start.
It's your only
If you
thing.
want something else, do something else.
Snack trays, ice water, V8 movie reviews. That's all that you have to contribute. You're it, man. This is your once or twice a year to shine, and you are.
Why do we
fucking-
give Cody a mic? Cody, what'd you love?
I thought we were.
I'm pretty sure I already did this, but
Okay, then what did you
Wait.
like?
uh,
Let's go
you
back.
know, when you see like Happy and Chris Evans and stuff, it just kind of wants you to. You want more of them, like the old classic actors and stuff like that.
Happy is not on steroids.
Yeah, yeah.
Happy is happy,
He's on.
and he's
Pizza.
very comfortable in his life.
It kind of makes you curious, like where they're gonna go from here.
Yeah.
Like, do they do another Deadpool Wolverine movie, or do they do a
No.
Because this didn't feel like just a Deadpool movie.
Oh.
This felt like a Deadpool Wolverine. movie.
Wolverine Hulk.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Oh,
is
God.
that what happens?
That's
Like,
what should happen.
Does it break?
It is
off
what
and do
should
this?
happen.
If I'm Disney, Wolverine Hulk happening.
Yeah.
Is he? Do you feel like he should be the X-Men's Wolverine in this universe
Until
now?
he's 90.
Yes.
Okay.
I think for the next
Until he can't do it.
I think for the next few years, I think we can do this for a little while. He's not that old, and his grizzled look is actually good for Wolverine.
And he's in great.
Harrison Ford was just Indiana Jones again.
yeah, and
And he's
But
99.
he looks old. So what I'm saying is, like, Wolverine, like, he's not supposed to age that much, and
Yeah.
you can definitely tell he has in the 20 years. Which, whatever, it's
But he's 200 years old.
yeah. But I mean,
No, I
I don't
understand what
know.
you're saying. Eventually, they're gonna have to recast it.
they're gonna have to recast it. I don't.
But
think
then what do
it
they
now.
do? Do they do another multiverse thing where they pull another fucking Wolverine?
Is it going to be
just do that now, or
Is
do
it going to
they-
be Cavill? Cavill?
I would,
Cavill?
if it is, I'm fine with
Yeah.
that. I don't think we worry about that right now.
True.
I think if I'm Disney, I'm going, look at that fucking cash. Let's do it again. Wolverine, Ruffalo, I don't care what you're doing. You're over there hugging a tree or whatever. You got to come to the movie set and you got to fucking act and be Hulk. And we're going to put this together and it's going to be fucking brutal. It's going to be R-rated. We're going to fucking kill it. And we're going to make $1 gazillion. And Steve's going to come and love it.
Yeah.
And then
I would love if they went full old man Logan.
Dude,
I know
I
they
don't want old
won't.
man Logan yet.
Oh,
I know they won't.
Unless they made the movie.
No, not yet.
They
In
got-
I'm
10
saying-
years, let's
yeah.
do old man
I'm saying
Logan.
eventually that would be
Yeah.
brilliant.
These
that
actors, though-
fucking.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
These actors that we're loving though are probably getting really, really expensive now.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
there's that.
When you make
Well,
$1 billion
the movie
on,
just made $1 billion.
Yeah.
So fuck.
you can afford it.
Can you look up what the actors made for this movie?
I don't know if that's public.
Yeah. So Terror Claus here says if they do a Hulk versus Wolverine, they need to bring back Rage Hulk, not the bullshit Smart Hulk. I
Agreed.
agree with that. They
Agreed.
need to somehow get rid of Smart Hulk.
So, but wait a minute though,
20
because you see a flash of Red Hulk,
Wow.
right? In this movie, you see a flash of Red Hulk, which is I'm assuming Thunderbolt's Red Hulk, right? Now, is Red Hulk, is that Cho? And Red Hulk is smart, right?
No,
No? What am I thinking of?
you're thinking of Joe's Hulk. He was green.
But he was green.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought Red Hulk was, but the Red Hulk is
Typically-
always the Hulk, though, right? He doesn't transform. Red Hulk's always in Hulk form. and it's
I'm
more-
sure they don't do that anymore. I'm sure he can go both ways. It's
Okay.
General Ross is who Red Hulk is.
Oh, well, that's why they can use Harrison Ford then,
Yeah.
because they
Right.
don't. Oh, okay.
Yep.
So Ryan Reynolds made 30 mil.
That's it.
Hugh 20.
That's actually not that crazy. That's like
I
19.
mean, it's a lot.
It is, but Jim Carrey got $20 million for the freaking mask 20 years ago or 30 years ago or whenever that was.
Yeah, but you got to remember though too. I mean, I don't think inflation hits the same way for this type of stuff as it does for
Or
everything
maybe
else.
they just loved the movie and they wanted it to be good, so they didn't charge a bunch. So
Well,
they
I'm
could have a
assuming
bunch
that
of extra
Ryan-
money,
That's probably
I believe that's it.
have a bunch of extra money to have cameos come in and shit.
Yes. Yeah,
I think that's pretty standard though for
Yeah,
a big
for a movie.
actor.
It's-
That's like
20 to
like
30 million.
and I
Kevin Hart got,
guarantee you-
30 mil for Jumanji.
I'm
Kevin Hart.
yeah, I'm sure that Ryan Reynolds probably made more because of writing and shit. He actually was more than just an actor for this movie. Would be my assumption as to why his is more than Hugh Jackman's.
Yeah, exactly.
I loved I just loved the dynamic between Logan and Wade. I could watch those two do it could have this movie could have not had all of the other characters in it. It could and I still would have loved this movie.
Yeah.
Those two were so fucking good together.
They were so good together. You can imagine them like they text each other a few times a week. They send each other funny clips they see on the internet. Like I feel like these guys are friends.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, did you see what so-and-so said on TikTok or whatever? Or I mean, I can see them interacting with each other. Like, hey, tell your daughter I said happy birthday. Like I that was
what you're
how
describing
close they
sounds
were,
super
you know?
lame to me. I'm talking Wade and Logan.
Right. I mean, because some
F
real
you
life
and
friends.
blah, blah, yeah. like- I don't give a shit if they're talking about each other's kids.
yeah,
I want
can
to see
that
those
about you.
two murder each other nonstop and then murder other people. Like that's what I love. I just loved it
That's why you're dad of the year.
without a doubt.
Sounds like all the actors made like around 20 from Endgame.
Wow. All the actors, all the big ones.
Yeah.
Wow.
wow.
Hated.
The other side of that too is remember the way that they do things now. Their base salary for movies, these actors are business people now, and they get percentage cuts of profits, and they get it used to be 20 million. You know, Jim Carrey gets 20 million for The Mask. That's all he made was 20 million, where Hugh Jackman gets 20 million and he gets 0.7% of this. He's going to end up making 60 million over the life of this movie. So.
I thought they moved away from that because Downey made so much fucking money. I thought they had gone away from that because they're like, we can't do this because like Robert Downey made like ungodly amounts of money.
Oh, kind of.
What's that?
But
He's
but
like the person.
I don't. Maybe they just restructured it, or maybe there's a cap or a lower percentage. They probably just I guarantee you it didn't go away. They probably just renegotiated it.
Jesse did say that Ryan's kid's called Jackman Uncle Hugh. So they got
That's
that
cute.
going.
So was it Blake Lively in the lady pool?
Yes.
Yes. God, she's fucking hot.
Which is funny because her original design was based on Blake Lively.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome.
When he created her, it was like watching Gossip Girl or some shit like that. So like her getting to play her was kind of like a full circle deal.
Ugh. So cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then his kids were the baby pool and kid pool.
Who,
Yep.
Ryan Reynolds kids?
Yep.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. How cool would that be?
If I want you to talk, I'll take Wolverine's dick out of your mouth.
And Tom Holland's brother got to be one of the Deadpool.
Yeah, there was a bunch of stuff like that. Now we're to the hard part. What did you hate? And
What? I thought
We already did this.
See, he has dislike and hate.
I know. Let's try.
Like and love, dislike and hate.
I'm trying to create content for this podcast, guys. I mean, if you want the podcast to be a half an hour long, we can make that happen.
That's what the listeners would like.
I don't think so.
They want 20 minutes of motorcycle instruction from Steve, and then the intro song, which is about 10 minutes. So
Trail breaking. I'm going to go over trail breaking today.
Wow.
Maybe fart breaking.
We need to.
So-
I remember now we have a.
Oh, we
can-
do have enough.
we
We have
can-
enough slots for mics. We could put one on my booty.
I could put a mic on Jeremy's
Underneath
booty.
Jeremy's seat.
I just
You
feel
guys-
like everyone should have to
Fart
experience
mic.
it. Yeah.
Your fart mic.
You could yell that right before every
Yep.
time.
Fart
Fart
Here's- I
So I'll
think
be
I
quiet.
think we can all
we could
agree.
just have one here, and then when he says fart bike, I can just
Yeah, because you want to put your hand by his ass while it's farting. That's
my hands already
so
been.
good. Because you know, Steve.
My
every
hand
time-
smells like his ass
cup
right
of
now.
fart. Cup of fart.
Every time he would just smell his hand after he does it.
My kids still fall for the hey. Somebody burn popcorn.
Your musk is wearing off.
Like I think we can all agree that nobody. I don't think anybody has anything that we can say we hated about this movie, right?
Okay, what? What did you
Oh,
hate?
that it ended.
no
yeah.
nudity. No nudity.
That is
Was
such
there
a
nudity in
perverted
the
hate.
other Deadpool movies?
No. Well, yeah, there was.
I
Yeah,
hated that too. in
there was
those
a titty.
movies.
Okay.
Yeah, they were in the strip
yeah.
club.
The one. The thickie from Star Wars that got in trouble.
Yeah.
Her titty fell out. Remember during the fight
Yeah,
scene?
but did you,
Did
I
that
don't
fall?
think they
I don't
showed
think
it.
they showed it though, because I went back to watch that part just specifically to see your titty. I'm like, I don't.
It was there.
I swear, I thought it was, but then looking it up, I don't think
Nope,
it's there.
they
if
didn't
it was
show
there, I think we would all know it was.
Yeah, I
there.
think we all would
I
have.
could have swore it was there.
While we wait, I do have
Gina, what's her last name?
Oh, you do have a
Carano.
hate?
well, not necessarily mine.
That's
I
good, 'cause
looked
you-
up what people are.
Yeah.
Oh,
saying
what
about
are
it.
What people are complaining about?
One reviewer says that Marvel is afraid to move past the plot past the events of Endgame. They say that 11 movies since 2019 have gone in circles and returned to where they started, like a theme park ride.
Interesting.
Well, I think it's very evident they were lacking direction, and their plan was the Kang Wars,
which they got rid of in like one line on what was that on Loki? Where they're just like, oh yeah, I guess there was something going on over here, but they took care of it. You're like, okay, Kang's done.
the end.
Moving on.
Afraid to move the plot past the events of Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything still feels like it's just coming off of Endgame, which that was years ago.
Yeah.
And nothing's really progressed, I guess. They've brought in some new characters and stuff in their own series and things like that, but really it doesn't move the
They don't
story
know what
forward.
the fuck they're doing.
Well, yeah, Claus
You
just
gotta-
blocks it with her hand.
Well,
Yeah.
I think they did know. They just
But it sucked.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
Yeah.
it sucked. Ant-Man 4 was shitty. I
keep
thought,
trying to watch it. Last night I tried. I fell asleep at the same fucking point again.
you know,
I've tried to watch that movie 4 times now.
I and I know like Pete, you still found enjoyment in it, right? In MM.
Yeah, I'm not a fucking monster.
I really
I find joy in a lot of things in life that people like Steven just can't.
I would
Like,
not
like bursts of a child, pretty flowers. You know,
I wouldn't recommend that movie to anyone.
I hated it.
Yep.
Quantumania.
Mhm.
See, and what I've seen so far, I don't hate. It's a completely different tone than the other movies.
Yeah.
But where I've made it into the movie, it's
Paul
not
Rudd
bad.
finally aged.
It's not great though.
so good.
Maybe I didn't hate it, but I definitely did not enjoy it.
So your hate from Deadpool Wolverine was Quantumania, okay? So that's
No
awesome.
nudity.
No nudity.
No nudity. Ackerman, I totally disagree with your first line. He says nudity is unnecessary.
No, you need at least one titty in every movie.
I totally disagree with that. Your second line, I totally agree with.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're definitely a degenerate.
Without a doubt.
But the problem is, Curtis, is him being upset about not having nudity in this film. That's like the number 13 reason that he's a degenerate.
Very
Like
true.
him being like, oh, there's no nudity. That doesn't even crack the top 10 of the perversions that is Travis Bowles.
Very true. Jeremy, what'd you hate?
Hate is such a harsh word.
Strong.
But I do feel kind of let down by the fact that we didn't get anything from the previous movie as far as like Cable and
Domino.
Domino.
Oh,
the kid.
Domino.
Now, granted, I wasn't a huge fan of like the kid,
I hated the kid.
but like still
Which kid?
the fiery kid. I don't
Making
even
sure
remember his fucking name.
fire. Yeah.
Or even
What's his name?
Juggernaut from that, because he got up.
Juggernaut was awesome.
He got up from the pool after getting electrocuted and he walked off. It's like, well, he's alive. Are we ever? And nothing. So nothing
the-
from that movie carried on.
Yeah.
really.
What was the flaming kid's name? What's his hero
Lame.
villain name?
Lame.
Lame flame.
Lame flame.
Oh, he has a name. Fire Fist.
I have no idea.
Mm.
I couldn't stand him.
Sparky.
So listeners, help me out.
I feel like Juggernaut probably would have broke the bank. I think what we found out with this movie is they did, like I've seen where they've talked about there was things they had to cut because they were so over budget, which
Well, I totally get that. I
Yeah.
just like not even like a reference.
Fire
for it.
Fist.
Fire Fist.
Yep.
Like Cable was such a huge part of that
Huge.
movie, and they're like, just don't even bring it up.
They referenced him. He said, I messed up the time continuum with Cable's, doohickey
Okay,
or
right,
whatever.
yeah.
But that was it.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
yeah.
there was another reference to Cable.
Let's think about it.
No, you can still talk while I think.
I was disappointed Domino wasn't in it.
Yeah.
Mostly because I like her character.
I mean, I guess they did have what's his name in it. Fuck, what was
Long shot. Peter.
it? Peter. His big ass bulge.
Not long shot.
Which the movie was
Shatterstar.
The
was in
movie
it.
was dedicated to
Peter?
the actor that plays him.
Really?
Because he had since that movie he lost a 2-year-old son. And I think it wasn't dedicated to him. I think it was dedicated to his 2-year-old son who passed away.
Wow.
In the movie, Deadpool makes a comment, briefly references Cable and says that he didn't test well with audiences.
I remember that line.
Yeah, I remember
Okay.
there was a second one, another reference.
But also, and this is not, I agree. I wish there would have been a little something. Cable's the straight man.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I get it. It just,
Too many straight men in a movie is not for me.
it's like they didn't really they made some meta joke about
Right,
it as
right.
opposed to like, oh, he's actually doing like, it just felt like at the end of that movie, these characters would have been a bigger part, or X-Force would have been resurrected or something.
Yeah.
Why did we only get in the scenes with friends and family? Why did we only get Shatterstar? I thought that was weird to me that of the group, that was the only one that we saw. And then at the end, we only got X-23. You know what I mean? I thought it was weird that of all those characters, they picked Shatterstar of all those characters to be that one that you see.
Oh, he was probably cheap.
Well, very well could be,
Yeah. But Colossus was in that scene, wasn't he?
right?
Yeah.
But I mean, but as far as like the group that he recruited,
And I don't even
in
remember
Deadpool
who
2,
else was in that group. Honestly, I have no recollection.
It was
You
the
know-
invisible guy played by Brad Pitt,
Yep.
Domino, Peter,
The Domino one was weird to me.
yep, Shatterstar, and then Terry Crews,
See, I don't even.
And then the
think
guy
I
that
recognize
spit-
Shatterstar.
and then the guy that spit poison.
Wow.
Terry Crews did the magnetic thing in your head.
I'd have to go back and watch it. I
Electrical.
honestly don't even remember Terry Crews being in that movie.
Well, we Pearson and I watched
Watch it
one and two
together,
before
yeah,
we went to the
yep.
new one. So, but yeah, I thought it was strange that it was one of those where it's like,
Megasonic.
maybe he was only able to save Shatterstar. I don't know why that was.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if X-23 being in the end scene that was supposed to be a nod to the other ones died. The other
I
ones
feel
didn't
like
make it out of
this
the
is just
void.
dragging on too long.
This podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, Steve, what'd you hate?
Well, if it's dragging on too long, don't answer that question and turn the fucking show off. So I'm sorry I was
thought-
talking about the movie during a movie review. What an asshole.
Curtis
thought-
says invisible guy was in the scene, Pete.
No, listeners, stop. We're not reading the comments. We're running long. Quit paying. We're not saying it. We got to get out of here.
What'd you hate, Steven?
I was a little disappointed that now this is going to be this is
Just spit it out. We're out of time,
gonna
Steve.
contradict. I love all the cameos, and that was great. All the characters. However, I wanted a little more alone time with Deadpool and Wolverine.
Get that.
That's all.
Why is she so fucking loud while we're recording?
No kidding.
I'm going to talk with her
That's
about
how
it.
she walks. Imagine being Kane. Bedroom's down here.
That was a joke because I woke her up earlier with my screaming.
Peter,
So
what'd you hate?
what?
What'd you hate?
Reviewing this with Steven. Other than that.
Other than that, I ain't got nothing bad.
got nothing bad. Yeah, like Steve said earlier, Wolverine's eyes, it was something jarring about it. It felt weird to me.
Yeah.
It felt
But I
weird,
can't-
but then I thought to myself, would I rather them have not done that? And I'm like, no, I'd rather them not.
Exactly.
But see now,
Yep.
I thought the same thing because if I see it, if I would have just seen his eyes, I'm like, that looks weird.
Yeah.
So like, there was no way to make me happy. I don't think in that moment. But there's no way I can classify that as a hate. I really can't.
Yeah, Wolverine put his mask on.
Right.
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 Yeah. There's no.
especially for how long we've all been waiting for some of those like pieces. And
I hate that Ryan Reynolds made it so She-Hulk and Miss Marvel weren't in it.
weren't in it.
So,
all right. Anything else, guys? Where are we going from here? Where are we going?
Auburn Hills. School clothes shopping.
We
Well,
haven't
Fuck
seen.
are you going school clothes shopping for?
Because I'm going back to school, Steve.
Oh,
I decided to get my 1 week water certificate so I can be just like you and be educated finally.
Lansing Community College. Is that where you're going?
No, that's too high end for me. I'm doing it all online through Madonna University.
I just didn't know if maybe
So-
that link that Pete or Steve sent us.
Oh,
God, what I was really trying to send you guys was so good,
dude,
too.
that's happened to me 3 or 4 times in the last couple of weeks. You
Like-
touch the wrong part of the screen, and
Yeah.
it sends the ad at the bottom instead of the video.
Yeah, it sucks.
Where I don't have any idea where we go from here. I'm trying to think of the previews that were
I know
before
where we go.
Deadpool Wolverine, and there was one that I was like Craven. I'm not sure. There's I saw the preview for the new Venom, which I haven't seen I haven't seen the Carnage Venom.
I saw both of the Venoms.
So-
They were decent, but once again, they're moving forward without Spider-Man, and even though like this Craven one looks kind of exciting, I don't
can't
really
have-
give a shit.
You can't have them without their Spider-Man villains.
Mhm.
You have to have Spider-Man.
I feel like they should maybe give up and just kind of give it to.
I'm
like,
never
take-
going to give you
take that
up.
money, but like say Disney, just fix this for us, please.
I like those movies.
The
Venom movies.
those were okay to me.
Fucking
I'm
chump.
fine. I had a good time, but I'm talking like I didn't even see Morbius, but that one got shit on. The Madam Web got fucking shit all
Oh,
over.
Well, you didn't watch that.
No.
This
don't.
Craven movie, like the dude looks cool or whatever, but I don't think it's gonna do very
Can we-
well.
Can we do what we've talked about on more than one occasion? Can we actually do like Madam Web, but like Mystery Science Theater 2000? or
Watch it all
3000,
together.
whatever, like with just our heads
It
at
would
the
be
bottom.
funny. It would
I
be
mean, I think
funny.
we should do that
Not the movie.
because there's a
Our
ton of
comments would
there's a
be
ton
funny.
of smoking hot chicks in that movie. I mean, it's stacks on stacks on stacks of fucking stacked chicks.
Yeah, but it's
I don't know, man.
Yeah, but
they
that
lean
does
in.
not
They lean
matter.
into making them not hot. We should do it
And no nudity, which sucks.
without
was saying.
very, very. I mean,
Like fucking,
okay, listen.
like Steven outfits, like up to the necks, down to the ankles.
When halfway through the movie, they have a scene where all the girls grab a pillow, and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, here we go."
Pillow fight.
It's like 4 chicks in a hotel room. Oh, it's about to happen. Okay, we're gonna put the pillow on the ground, and this is how you do CPR on a person. And then they actually did a demonstration of doing CPR on the pillow. And
Oh, see, but that kind of shit gets me hard as a CPR instructor.
I totally understand.
Oh yeah, the pushies and the puffies getting it.
Let me tell you, that
30
was some serious
30 to 2.
foreshadowing. By the way, this movie did it very well. Like, I mean, they practice CPR halfway through the movie. I'm gonna guess they're gonna do CPR at the end of this movie.
Right.
Oh my god, it's so
and
fucking bad.
and they were not able to resuscitate the movie, and the whole
Not at
the whole
all.
universe died.
I do have to read a couple of things from our
I'm not going to get to answer the question.
Patrons. What question?
Where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here, Steve?
All right, first thing you do is you get Ryan Reynolds and you get Hugh Jackman and you get Ruffalo and you get working on your fucking Hulk and Wolverine movie right now.
You said that
We
already.
pull shut up. They pull from another timeline and we get rid of fucking Falcon Hulk or Falcon Cap and we pull a Bucky Cap into the freaking universe because everybody wants to see that and it's stupid to have Falcon Cap anyways because he doesn't have the super soldier serum. Bucky does. He's got a metal arm. He can handle that shield and I want to see him in that fucking uniform with a gun shooting people.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Everybody needs that. So then we get the Avengers together. We're going to get War Machine because he's still around. We're going to get Thor because I think he's still back up for use. We're going to get Holland in there. We're going to get characters in that everybody wants to fucking see. I don't think Black Widow's available anymore. Maybe we could get her.
Who else would you add to the Avengers team to replace Iron Man, or who would you love to see if you could build your Avengers team for an Avengers movie, a team up?
Wasn't I doing it?
I want to hear other people that we haven't seen yet. I want to hear more.
Like you want me to keep going?
Yes. That's why I interrupted you. I interrupted you to let you know that I wanted you to continue.
I also think when Travis asked this question, he was like talking about like where are we going? Like, are we ending the podcast? Or
Oh, I thought he was talking about the movie.
We can still get Hawkeye. I think he can still act.
Yep.
And
But why do you need him? Because you got little Hawkeye.
Don't want her.
I love how we called Gambit look, it's like a superhero Hawkeye.
We'll ixnay on the Hulk on this one because we're doing that Wolverine
I
thing.
like it. Yep.
But
Yep.
we're gonna bring in Deadpool and Avengers because I want to see him in a team outfit and thing. And then we got our Avengers, and then we need John Walker. We need fucking John Walker, U.S. agent.
Dude, that's why Thunderbolt's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, we need that. We need that group, and that's what we're building towards. Is the fight between those two things right there. Way fucking better than anything they got going. Boom, Marvel saved. Steve saves the universe. It's cool.
Steve saves it.
We kill Captain America or Captain Marvel. We don't need that character anymore. I don't really want to kill Brie Larson. I don't like her. I think she's despicable. But that's a harsh word. But I'm on a podcast. I'm trying to be dramatic.
It's working.
So here's how we're gonna save. Here's how I want the listeners to pay attention, the watchers especially, how Steven is gonna save the Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing the Marvel Cinematic Universe again.
Yeah.
With less women.
Hey, I said
You
that,
just
I
described
said we
what
could get
they
Black
did
Widow
for
or
20
her
years.
sister.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you still got the sister.
Florence Pugh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having that Pugh on my stink finger.
Got some Patreon supporters. I asked them the same kind of question, just to weigh in with a couple other thoughts. And I'm going to read a few of these. Douglas Tupper
And a few
says,
of them are just Mavericks. So
actually, I'm going to skip Mavericks because he didn't even watch it yet. He's one of those people.
oh, fucking Maverick.
Douglas said the entire movie was great. He goes, now I have to make a custom parkour Scottish Deadpool.
Yes. I did see the Scottish Deadpool.
Steve O'Beg says he loved how he killed Nicepool just to take his dog and guns.
And guns.
Yep.
Are those 50 caliber golden Desert Eagle pistoleros?
He goes, I hated how many times he had to mention his wife. You know what? I actually didn't notice that a ton. Him talking about Blake.
I don't remember it either.
There was a couple times.
One-
It wasn't anything.
207 pounds when I'm watching Gossip
Yep.
Girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't know she was in Gossip Girl until you said that earlier. So
Mark Anderson said, I loved all the fan service. It just entertained and gave us what we wanted. I also loved all the shade they threw at Disney about the multiverse and for them to take the L, to take the loss.
Only they're going to keep doing the multiverse stuff. So
For sure.
we'll see what happens.
Will White echoed your comments about Danny DeVito.
So just so you know, in the grand scheme of things, that's the fucking worst. Like you don't ever want Will White to echo what you say. That's not a good thing, you know? Hey, Jeffrey Dahmer agrees this recipe is great. Like that's not you don't want that.
I beg to differ.
We don't strive
he's
to
cute.
have Billy Beige.
He's cute. So.
I will say this, Billy. You know, you look at him, you think he's going to be dumb.
Wow.
And
He's
then
a
you
lot-
talk to him and you know
He's a lot
He's
smarter
dumb.
than he looks.
Heidi asked me, she goes, is there something wrong with him?
and then I go full Nicolas Cage from Con Air and I go, my first guess is a lot.
I love you, Will.
We all love Billy
Dominic
Beige.
jumped in and said, I loved all the Wolverine variants and most of the cameos were great, especially Chris Evans and Wesley Snipes.
Mhm.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So that wraps up our Deadpool Wolverine review episode. We did it, guys.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yay. All right. My understanding is we're going to wrap this up. Pete's going to make the exit and we are going to come back and do some toy news.
Let's do that.
Wait, hold on real quick before I go.
What?
A special little treat. So David Williams, who we know is a phenomenal artist, he did a very cool drawing of Steven's character from the Furious Four and his new tribute character that are going to be handout stickers for Legion's Con at their table.
Yeah.
He posted them. They're beautiful. So Cody, will you bring up the first picture that I sent you, please?
By the way, Williams and Bisciotti's table. Gonna be awesome.
How incredible is that? Lord Stephen Bisciotti, the Alpha.
Yeah,
Right?
it's awesome.
So not only, of course, because he didn't want us to be left out, he also did the other characters.
Oh man.
So if you'll pull up the next one, Cody, it should be Travis, I believe. So awesome pelvicus, right? Keep going, Cody.
That's so cool.
Of course, Praetorian the bull,
Mhm.
right? Go ahead and keep going, Cody. Oh, there's two bull. There's Jeremy.
Son of a bitch! Son of a fuck you guys! Did he really do that one? Okay, that makes it better.
At my request, he did. If you
I
go
love
one,
that he did it extra shitty.
Yeah, will you go one more for me, Cody? And of course,
that
so
sucks.
I want you to understand, Jeremy, and this is important, okay? So I got an email entitled Furious 4 Drawings from David Williams, and then what's the title of the top one from him?
Shitty Jeremy.
Shitty Jeremy. He specifically said,
If there's any adjective that describes me,
it was a shitty Jeremy drawing, and I love how you said, "Oh, it's extra shitty," and he literally called it the shitty Jeremy. So unknown if we'll be able to do anything with that art, because that's obviously likenesses to the Four Horsemen. So there are some permissions that I need to either get or not get. I can tell you that I am rolling into fucking Legions Con with my logo on my shirt. If we're going to be able to do anything else with those, I don't know yet. But I'm going to ask for permission. And if we get it, then great. If not, it'll still be some amazing art that David Williams did while thinking about us, because he's just fucking 2 steps above fantastic. So thank you, David, for that. And thank you, of course, for helping me poke fun at Jeremy. So
you can make it up to me if he tattoos that design on me during our show. I love how that's never going to happen.
Oh, we might go make it happen.
It's going to be years and years, and I'm going to have to get some local guy to fucking do it so I can be cool.
You're going to get the,
yeah, the fucking smiley face. Yeah, definitely.
Because I get the smiley face with you.
All right. I think that wraps up this show of our review of Deadpool and Wolverine. Hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, you know what? You didn't pay anything for it. So you get what you get.
Well, you're dumb.
Get what you get. Bye, everybody.
Bye.